glamorous, lightweight, and extremely maneuverable, with a power-to-weight ratio second to none in all of motorsports. With acceleration from 0 to 100 miles an hour in under 5 seconds, and top speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour. In 2024, the news on the street is the Mercury Apex 250 4.6-liter V8 4-stroke versus the industry standard 2.5-liter V6 2-stroke. Who's going to come out on top in 2024? Looks he blows by the doors off. Down into turn number 1. Ooh, the 17 of Mars sweeps it right off the tail. Did that go? Look out, we got to blow over. Oh, they somehow saved it. No two laps are the same. Ever-changing wind and water conditions make the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series one of the most challenging racing circuits running today. From the Formula Light to the fan-favorite trials and the elite Formula One, this is the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, Kay, let's take a look at our starting order for our first of 4 qualifying heats here. Like I said, on the pole, the number 17, another 17 of Neil Marsh. On the pole, on the inside of row 1, on the outside of row 1 is the number 6 of Grant Schubert in that Captain Jack's Seafood Market.
And the inside and row 2 is going to be the 56 of Clint Dillard. On the outside, my man, the mullet, number 69, Corey Mullet.
Cole Mullet wearing there in outside of row 2, on the inside of row 3, the DD1 of Andy Miller. The outside of row number 3, the 52 of Tanner Rinker. On the inside of row 4, the 26 of Briston Sherman. And outside of row 4, it's the 37 of Mason Rinker, the other half of the Rinker racing team. Then on the inside of row 5, the 33 of John Ottinger. Outside of row 5, the 88 of Josh Wells. Then it's the 13 of Jack Schubert, the 5 of Ruben Stafford, and the 1 of Corey Walker. Here we go, we're underway with our opening qualifying heat here in Texas Tri-Halls.
They're bumping both before they even get to turn 1. Turn 1's going to get real nasty on the inside. Neil Marsh gives a little hip check to young
and he gets taken down into the buoy there by the 6 of Schubert. That's Grant Schubert, the man who's sitting in second for points in the season standings. He slams our leader down into turn 1, stuffs him into the pin, and goes roaring by him as they go down the south end of the course.
Here comes Rinker in the 37, charging hard, going to slide in on the inside of Neil Marsh and loses that lane. Neil Marsh slams the door on him, but coming way wide. Grant Schubert, the number 6, your leader.
Yeah, Schubert in that number 6, all red, Captain Jack Seafood Market Tri-Hull with that 4-stroke Mercury on the back. Not a part of the new APX lineup like we see in Formula One, but a solid 4-stroke option by one of our great sponsors, our number 1 sponsor, the great folks at Mercury and Mercury Racing. The 17 of Neil Marsh there sits in second as we see those boats come sweeping off the north end of the course as they head back south. It is Grant Schubert right now, but we got him coming for him as we got a big stack back there for 4th, 5th, and 6th, but there's those top 3. The 6 of Schubert, the 17 of Neil Marsh, and he's got that new Autism Matters. A good friend of his daughter Aja, is a part of the Autism Matters movement, one of those beautiful puzzle piece murals on the bottom of that 17 of Neil Marsh. Fantastic. And, you know, we do got to give a big shout out to all the guys at the Farmer's Home Tavern back home in Hemlock, Michigan, watching the 17 of Neil Marsh look to go for the three-peat here in 2024.
This water was rough before they hit the water. Now look at the rollers they are throwing up as they hip check each other. And we've got a doozy coming up for first and second. Marsh jumped on the inside, and Grant Schubert said, "Where'd you come from?" He says, "Bam!" right here on the side of your nose.
They go drag racing down the front straightaways. The 17 of Marsh on the inside. The 6 is Schubert on the outside. As they go down into the north end of the course in turn 1, the 17 of Marsh douses the 6 is Schubert. And what a move by the man out of Hemlock. He has got that thing dialed in and dancing, Kay.
It looks like Grant Schubert might have lost that first place position, but now they're starting to come up to that back traffic, and it looks like Grant's going to try and jump on the inside, and Neil Marsh as they hit side by side going into turn 2. Oh, Grant just about blew that thing over coming out of there with all the rollers coming out.
Yeah, the DD1 of Andy Miller there goes wide to the outside. Rookie here in 2024, just getting some laps in as the 6 of Grant Schubert and the 37 of Mason Rinker trying to track down our leader, the dude out of Hemlock, Michigan, the 17 of Neil Marsh, the man who won the opening 2 rounds, has a commanding lead in the points and is looking to go for back-to-back season championships here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series in the Texas Tri-Hull Division. And look at the lead he has opened up, Kay. He is really starting to move away from the 6 of Schubert.
Schubert's going to try to drive on the inside, but here comes a little one of the 37. Tanner Rinker's going to jump on the inside as well. We got 3 racers all charging for that top podium finish. Your leader is that number 17, Neil Marsh, followed by the 6 of Grant Schubert. Here comes Rinker in the 37, followed by Cole the Mullet, 69.
Yeah, we got Cole Mullet Weird hang out there in 4th, but now we're going to start to get into those lap traffic, those back markers here on this 7 lap. First of 4 qualifying heat with 2 laps remaining. It can get real dicey for the 17 of Marsh as he gets by the 88 of Josh Wells, and now he's looking to eye up another rookie here in 2024. That's the young 13 of Jack Schubert, just jumping into a tri-hull. The 17 of Marsh gets by him easy, sees that checkered flag, go fast, turn left just a couple more times for the man out of Michigan.
White flag is out, 1 more lap. Can Neil Marsh hold off Grant Schubert? Neil Marsh going into turn 1, the number 17, followed by 6 of Grant Schubert, the 37 of Rinker, the 69 of Cole the Mullet, followed by the 26 of Bryson Sherman out of Katy, Texas.
As they come down the back straightaway, our leader, the 17 of Neil Marsh, sweeps it nicely down into the south end of the course out of turn number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, like he's been doing for the last 3 years, taking qualifying heat number 1 out of Hemlock, Michigan, number 17, the dude, Neil Marsh.
In second place, in the number 6, bright red, that would be young Grant Schubert.
And rounding out the podium, a part of the Rinker Racing team, running for McLean Trailers, number 37, Mason Rinker.
In 4th place, flying that mullet proudly in the number 16. I love the paint job on that.
Absolutely.
If you can't see it from here, up here in the visitors, make sure you go into the pits. Check this boat out really close. He actually put a mullet on the side of his boat on the number. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the rest of our field here in the opening round of qualifying here at the Alton Midwest Nationals in the Texas Tri-Hull class. Finishing in 5th position, that's another part of that Outlaw Racing team, the number 26 of Briston Sherman. In 6th, the other half of the Rinker Racing team, that's the number 52 of Tanner Rinker, then the 33 of John Ottinger. In 7th, the number 5 of Ruben Stafford. In 9th, the 88 of Josh Wells, also known as Not Sure. And he's got one of those new sponsors on that 88 tri-hull machine. It's Brondo. It's what boats crave. The number 88 of Josh Wells in that 9th position. Then in the double digits, the rookie, the DD1 of Andy Miller, followed by the number 56 of Clint Dillard and the number 1 of Corey Walker. So that wraps up qualifying heat number 1 here in Texas Tri-Hull. Up next, we've got our Formula One class coming back out on the water for their first heat in this 8 minutes plus 1 lap qualifying heat. This is where our fast lap qualifiers from earlier on today are coming into play. Earlier on, prior to the noon hour, we had 3 groups come out on the water in the Formula One class. Each group was able to try to lay down their fastest elapsed time on the shores of the mighty Mississippi here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. And inside those 3 groups, that allowed us to put our start dock order for our first of 3 qualifying heats here in 2024. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thomas Yarbrough Again, bringing you all the live action here. My partner Kay had to quick run out and run an errand quickly here as we get ready for our first of 3 qualifying heats, and it's going to be a doozy. We saw the 52 of Chris Rinker. We call him the real deal. He is the real deal. He's fighting for a series championship, and he laid down the lone sub 33-second lap time here on the shores of the Mississippi on this 5-pin, 7/8 of a mile course. He went 32.51 or 32.56 in a fantastic effort by the 52 of Chris Rinker. He will be on the pole here for our opening qualifying heat. Right behind the 52 of Chris Rinker is going to be another driver that was lightning fast. All right, we're going to go down, have Kay chat with our winner here in qualifying heat number 1, the number 17 of Neil Marsh, doing it again.
Neil Marsh, that was one heck of a heat. Didn't start off with you in the lead. Grant Schubert, he was able to get around to you on the very first lap.
Yeah, we've had that corner quite a few times now. With that current coming this way, I knew I was going to get pushed into it. Luckily, he gave me just enough room not to take the buoy completely out. So we kind of got fortunate there. We've had some pretty rough and tough starts, and that was another one. But you know, when you want to get through the rough stuff, you know, pull the helmet tight and get after it. So I got him in a little bit there. It didn't take long, and let that 2-stroke scream wide open, baby.
Well, you're out of breath because you had to work so hard through that. You were talking about the rough water. You have a new meaning of rough water out there. How do you guys not like spin out, flip over?
Well, you just got to be really smart, right? No, it's a setup thing, you know, and it's maybe patience, maybe just a lot of dumb stuff going on too. But we put on a heck of a show. I know that That last race in Shreveport, I thought that was a rough one, but you guys got it beat here. And I could see something in the future here. This final is going to be incredible.
Well, you gave the city of Alton one heck of a show on the very first heat. What's plans for the next heat? You got to do some maneuvering on that one.
I'll be happy to come through the back. I won't have to worry about that first pin. So let's do it. And he'll be right next to me. So let's go after it.
All right. Well, we want to thank the city of Alton for bringing you out here. It's going to be a great weekend. Congratulations on your first of many wins this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kay, down there chatting with winner, the 17 of Neil Marsh, the dude, coming straight out of Hemlock, Michigan. It may be the first of many. Checkered flags on his way to a clean sweep on the season. Will that be the case, or will the 6 of Grant Schubert, or the 37 of Mason Rinker, or the 69 of Cole Mullet Wearing have something to say about it? Well, we're going to chat a little bit more about that and get ready for our first qualifying heat here in Formula One right after a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Mercury Racing was forged in the heat of competition. The will to win is in our DNA. Competition isn't just what we do, it's our proving ground. It's about the pursuit of power, performance, and endurance that pushes our limits and yours. We create premium marine power to take you faster and farther. The world offers limits. Mercury Racing offers freedom. Live wide open.
A great sponsor of the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals, Simmons Hanley Conroy, a veteran-owned law firm right here in Alton that has been helping victims of mesothelioma caused by asbestos for more than 20 years. Simmons Hanley Conroy working hard to get victims the compensation they need. If you need help, reach out at simmonsfirm.com. The city of Alton, nestled along the majestic banks of America's Great River, 25 miles north of St. Louis, Missouri, on the banks of Mississippi. Alton, the picturesque community and a great place to call home. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau is proud to partner with the city of Alton and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat racing back to the Mississippi River here in Illinois. For visitor information, check out their website at riversandroutes.com. Enjoy your time here in Alton. Max of Alton. Grab your bet, grab a drink, and a meal all in the same place, and all in the same time. Max With cold beer, good food, a beer garden, 75 TVs, on-track betting, parlor, and video poker, make Max Downtown Alton a great place for your next great time. JH Performance Boats, custom shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Enjoy Illinois, full of state parks and forests with caves for exploring, lakes and rivers for floating, summits for climbing, and views for appreciating. The outdoors are waiting in the middle of everything. Enjoy Illinois. The Argosy Casino Alton. Head over to Argosy Casino right here in downtown Alton and sign up today for their rewards program and get $20 in free slot play for new members. Enjoy their $2 domestic long neck beers and all you can eat buffet all weekend long. And don't forget, stop by the sports book and lay down your bet on who's going to win the Formula One race here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. That's correct. You heard it first here. The Alton Midwest Nationals are the first time you're going to see Formula One powerboat racing on a betting platform. They've got it in their sports book. Fantastic. And you know what? This next sponsor is somebody real near and dear to my heart. He's somebody that I've spent a lot of time with over the years, and he's been a great partner of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, the great folks at Seaway Marine. Seaway Marine, your Johnson and Evinrude parts distributor. They are the #1 shop to find any hard-to-find boat motor part for Chris Craft, stern drives, OMC, you name it. They're one-stop boat motor shop. Find them at seawaymarine.com. Attention here locally in Alton, we've got a silver Kia license plate EH40564. Your car will be towed immediately as it is in the shuttle parking drop-off area. Silver Kia Optima, license plate EH40564, Illinois EH40564, silver Optima. If you don't move your car, it will be towed immediately. All right, well, thanks for the PSA announcement there on top of all of our great sponsors. Kay, you're back from having a great conversation with Neil. What a fantastic heat. And you know what? What's come to be really par for the course here in the Texas Tri-Hull class.
You know, and I wish you could have heard it. He got out of that boat and he just hooted so hard. That wasn't an easy run for him. We both watched it in that very first heat that he had Grant right in front of him. I'm like, you're looking right down the backside of Grant. He's like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And then he finally did.
Hey, there we are. How's it going, everybody? We're just, he's telling me stage right. I don't know what stage right is. We got cameras here. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Wherever you are from all the way across the world, from China to our great folks in Australia watching it at probably 10, 11 o'clock at night, the folks over at the AFGP. Hey, guys, heard about the flooding down there in Australia. Hopefully you guys get your final round of the series in. To our Formula One H2O Series fans from all across the Middle East, Asia, Europe, thanks for joining us here. It's round 3. We're super excited. The tri-hulls were fantastic.
Yes.
Boy, Grant Schubert didn't want to give him an inch. Neither did Neil. I think we're going to see those two really slug it out here this weekend, Kay.
We've seen that numerous times before. Grant came in just as a young kid, and he just started bumping boats right off the bat. I mean, we watched them. They were bumping before they even got to the first turn.
Yeah.
And then that first turn, Grant was able to just slide right in there and get right up in front of Neil Marsh. But Neil Marsh, a couple laps in, decided, I want that inside lane back.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Texas Tri-Hull is like boat racing's version of like dirt track racing, right? The old school, Dale Earnhardt rubbing his racing, right? If you don't get out of my way, I'm going to get you out of my way. That is definitely the Texas Tri-Hull mentality, and how fantastic it has been every race this season. The crazy thing is, though, is Neil Marsh is still in the same exact spot as he's been, right?
Many years in a row, actually.
Yeah, he's going for 3.
Now, didn't something happen on Memorial Day weekend at a race you were at?
Oh, yeah. We had all sorts of trees floating down the river in Shreveport Bossier for round 2. It was Mother Nature definitely reared her ugly head.
Yeah.
She was not happy. I think at one point I saw a 65-foot tree, right? Not a log, but there was green branches, and it was the whole tree. I picture a part of a bank of a river 50 miles just caved in from all the torrential rain that they had gotten. Down there in southwestern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, I think we saw we had our Texas Tri-Hole driver, Andy Miller, who's out of Wichita, Kansas, also has a home in Disney, Oklahoma. They got like 22 tornadoes.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, I'm not coming to Shreveport. I have 20 hours of work every day for the next 3 weeks after what just happened. So we had, thankfully everything worked out.
Yep.
The wind cooperated and pushed all the debris to one side of the river, and we were able to get everything in.
We did have some debris that went down the middle of the race and did cause some
for
havoc.
sure.
I
Yeah.
was watching on the live stream because we're so great that we have this live stream. So
Absolutely.
I was sitting in Oregon watching your race there, and I had my earbuds on, and I was watching the trees that you're talking about coming through the live stream, and it was just nuts to watch.
Yeah, it's probably the most difficult I've ever seen a river. Hats off to the volunteers. So any of the folks from Shreveport Bossier that helped us and volunteered keeping the debris out of the river, thank you so very much. We greatly appreciate it. We had some awesome volunteers that did it for nothing more than some F1 swag. And that's a pretty cool thing. People that you've never met in a city you've never been to before are like, how can we help immediately? We definitely got that same vibe from the Alton community.
Yes.
So excited to be here. I mean, we're in the Siebold family's backyard. And let's talk about the Siebold family. I mean, you look at Petty in NASCAR, right? Or Schumacher in Formula One, or some of those, maybe a different family that's more multi-generational. And every generation has always been at the top of their craft. That is the Siebold family. I mean, you're talking, 75 years of racing, inductions into the Motorsports Hall of Fame, where you see the likes of Dale Earnhardt and Tom Petty and some of the other great anchors or pillars of motorsports across the United States and let's be honest, the world.
Yeah.
And so to be back in their backyard is fantastic. I have a lot of fond memories of the greater St. Louis area. I've spent, every August for the first 15 years of my life, 17 years of my life, until I got too old with sports that I couldn't go with anymore, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And it's a lot hotter in August, that's for sure.
When you talk about tunnel boat racing, like you said, that's the name that comes up.
Synonymous.
It's Siebold. It's Siebold this, Siebold that. And like you said, but we also have this great opportunity that some of our winners, they had to win this. Got to go for a ride with in the two-seater yesterday morning.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we had that view there of the 52 of Chris Rinker. Talk a little bit about that, Kay. You got to be a part of that. What is it like when you see, as we see some of our crews talking about, some debris in the river, and we're really trying to work to make sure we get the boats off of the course and everybody's safe. You see there talking, but let's talk a little bit about that two-seater and what that experience is like for somebody who knows nothing about what these are.
Well, and that's exactly it. Is I got the pleasure of being able to, introduce all these visitors and these fans here that got to take that ride of a lifetime. And they were like, what is this? How does this boat racing thing work? And it was just so fun to watch these guys get suited up, put their helmets on, and they're like, okay, how's this work? And I'm like, do I tell them that they're going to go 100 miles an hour in a boat where Tim Siebold's driving, or do I just let them go for a ride? We saw 107 miles an hour. It was just absolutely insane to watch these guys get out of the boat. They were glowing. And I mean, that'd be an opportunity. I want to go for a ride with Tim Siebold behind the wheel and to have him take me for a spin.
Yeah, it's fantastic. For those of you locally here, if you want to see in greater detail what we were talking about, we had some fantastic video footage. Pull out your phone. I know you have it on you. It's 2024. We all do, like it or not. Check us out on YouTube, right? Our YouTube channel is F1 Powerboat Championships on YouTube. We got a live stream right here, hey, going on all day long. We've got fantastic overhead drone shots and some unbelievable footage. And we've got some great content pieces like, look at this unbelievable race ride experience from the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Second to none anywhere in the world.
Well, that two-seater is sitting right outside of the VIP pit. So if you want to get a closer look into it, that's the two-seater that we are talking about. So if you want to get a ride in that, or maybe even offer it, I've seen it where it was a birthday present, it was a wedding gift. I mean, you name the opportunity to give your best friend a ride in one of these two-seaters. That's the two-seater out there. You'll get to have Tim Siebold driving you around the course at 100 miles per hour. So make sure you reach out to us and see how you could probably enter to win. Businesses is what usually does it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where, let's talk about that as we see the 52 of Chris Rinker, our pole sitter, making his way to the dock to line up, right? The fast guy gets to hang out on the dock the longest. Always one of those things I thought was like, you know what, if you get the pole, you should be able to pull up and get out of the boat. And then let everybody else line up. It's like, hey, I get the privilege of staying cool outside the cockpit while you guys sit there and sweat and tell everybody is ready. But I know these boats are going to have to come in order pretty quickly with this current being as brutal as it is. But you talk about that two-seater. What a fantastic opportunity for any business, right? And you can go to the F1 Powerboat Championship homepage, f1powerboatchampionship.com, and get contact information if you want to do this with your business. Imagine your 2 days of team building and you're really focusing on, growing the company, putting the company in a better place, and you want to reward the hard work, right? What better than to put them in the boat, right, in the cockpit of a 100+ mile an hour race machine. I've seen it done numerous times across the world, and not one business has ever regretted it.
Yep.
Right? They've all enjoyed it, and a lot of them have started to make it a repeat business corporate event that they incorporate, and it's fantastic for everybody involved. I think management gets great feedback because the people really love it, and it works great for everybody. And you know what? I don't think our fearless leader would be too upset about driving or dragging a two-seater around the country, scaring the crap out of people.
I know. There was one gentleman that was a little bit nervous when he first got in. He's like, I'm going to do what? 100 miles an hour? And he was kind of nervous. But that nerve was well gone, I want to say, into lap 2, because when he came out, he was all smiles, so excited. Michael Gray, congratulations on your first, and maybe not your last, because he did say, I might have to try it. He won it on a radio station, a local radio station. He offered that up. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I mean, the support for our series here. Hey, everybody, again, the support for this event, the local community has been fantastic. I mean, you've seen the shots. For those of you joining us live through our live stream on our YouTube channel, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can find out all the goings on here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all social platforms. Make sure you get all your up-to-date information on all those platforms about what's going on. We're going to be live all day today, Kate. We're live all day tomorrow, starting at, I believe, I'm going to step off camera for a quick moment here.
Early, because we got a lot of racing to get in.
11:15 Central Standard Time tomorrow. We're going to be coming back live, but we're just getting started today. We've got the first heat here in the Formula One class, and let's get into kind of some analysis of what we saw this morning. Fast lap qualifiers. Nobody necessarily surprised by the man who's on the pole, but I think the margin and the lap time that he set down with the 52 of Chris Rinker, a sub 33 second, the only one in the whole field. Really surprised to see him almost a full second quicker than anybody else.
I'm not totally surprised. We've seen the Rinkers make it up top on the podium, and he is fast. The one that I was like, wow, with was Andrew Tate of the Phenom Ventures. He came out literally out from under the bridge, went flying down to the start, had a little bit of a hook job that he went out in turn 1, but he was out there. He was like out there full fist, ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I think you saw, right, the benefit that Rinker had being in Group C was he did exactly what the 14 of Andrew Tate did, right? The first lap, they came out and laid down a blistered lap and then chilled and hung back. I think we saw actually the 52 of Chris Rinker. We made the announcement that he had laid down a 52.51, and he was screaming, and like within 10 seconds of us making the announcement, he just shut down.
And what else happened?
And he just chilled.
He just chilled out, but then that's when we saw Grant Schubert hammer it down, because he's like, I got one more lap in this. Let's see if I can get up on that pole just one notch higher. And he did.
And Schubert did, absolutely. He got into that sub 34, so we got down into that 33-second category, which is, where the bulk, I think we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats in that 33-second lap time, and then another 3 or 4 in those 34s, and we got a couple hanging out in the 35s.
Yeah.
We saw like the 34 of Jeff Reno. We didn't get to see the 98 of Aiden Benton, the rookie.
He had some steering issues. I went and talked to him. One of our rookie drivers out of Ontario, Canada. We're bringing them down across the borders. It's nice that COVID's over. We're able to bring him back across the border. Had a little chit-chat with him right after drivers meeting, and I said, what happened? And he said, I was having some steering issues right off the block. I got it back in. They put their nose to the grind. And one thing he did comment, and we've talked about with other drivers, is that when one boat has troubles, 4 teams jump in to help. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see him out here, out of Ontario, Canada. We're going to see him. Another one that was having some motor issues, which we've been watching all weekend long, is the 29 of Jared Jetson. Another one of our rookie drivers out here. Talked to him, having some carburetor fuel issues this morning. So we were able to get him out onto the water here pretty soon. We got most of our drivers out here on the water. Wind is picking up. Yesterday we had crystal clear blue skies with pretty calm weather. This river is moving faster today than it was yesterday. Got some wind, giving us some white caps, giving us some more undertow. But all of our drivers are out here set and ready to go. We're getting ready for the Formula One, so don't go too far. In the meantime, make sure that you go onto the F1 Powerboat Championship page. Like us, look for all of the videos. We've got the live stream going throughout the whole weekend, and it's going to be a fun day. I don't think Thomas is having a fun day right now, but he's going to get this figured out.
No, I'm not. Anyway, I'm just my own worst enemy sometimes.
There we go. Look, we got him out there. Aiden made it out onto the course. That's
yes,
the 98.
He did.
That's one we were talking about earlier. Rookie driver, unfortunately, having some steering issues this morning during the qualifying session, able to get that figured out on the course. Old number 3.
Yeah, the Dustman out of Houma, Louisiana, running this weekend for Simmons Hanley Conroy, attorneys at law, the great law firm here. Beautiful glass building up the hill. Something like 175 employees nationwide, 90 attorneys in this firm.
Nationwide.
Boy, an impressive law firm based right here in Alton. And so the 03 of Dustin Terry looking to capture victory here, running for Simmons Hanley Conroy. That is a 4-stroke APX Mercury 4.6 liter V8. You know, honestly, Kay, I never thought I would see the day of V8 would return to tunnel boat racing. When Bill Siebold went to Bristol, England in I don't even remember. I don't even think I was alive yet, but he went to Bristol, England with this 2-liter V6 tiny little Mercury against all these big Johnson V8s and just mopped the floor with them.
Well,
and so, right, so that to us was like, okay, V8 racing is dead. It's heavy, it's big, and how impressive it is to see what Mercury has put together, especially when you see, you see someone like Yamaha and
Tahatsu.
it's some of these other giant 4-stroke motors on the back of pleasure boats, and you're like, that thing weighs 800 pounds.
Yeah, and what you were talking about, we are so blessed to have Mercury working side by side, hand in hand with F1 to evolve these motors. I mean, each year we're getting faster. It's just like the cars that are on the road. They're coming up with more options, safety equipment, getting faster on the road. I know I might have to chance to jump the speed limit once in a while, but that is a great pleasure. Hand in hand, thank you so much, all of the people at Mercury Marine or Mercury, for helping us make these motors what they are, and our sport is continuing to grow.
Absolutely. We've got the green flag now. We're going to run some hot laps. Allow these drivers to do a couple of different things. One, they want to understand what the water is like out there right now. The wind conditions are ever changing. The water conditions are ever changing. And for a lot of these 2-stroke guys, they've got to get the motor warmed up. Kind of want to get all those moving pieces lubricated, get the fluids running, and everything kind of nice and heated up and ready to go. So we got to run a couple of hot laps, and then we're going to bring them in and we're going to line them up first to worst. How do we run our starts here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series? It's called a modified Le Mans start. So all of our drivers will be lined up on a 45-degree angle on the start pontoon that's right here on the Alton side of the river. For those of you here out in front of the grandstands, if you look straight down, that's where that is. I know it's tough, but you're going to see these boats come roaring off the seawall here on the Alton side of the Mississippi from a dead stop, right? This isn't like car racing. There's no neutral. It's not like a Le Mans start where you can have the motor on. We don't have gears. Well, if we don't have gears, that means when you turn it on, you're going forward.
Right.
So
hopefully
they don't have to. They are not allowed to have the boat even under power before when they're on the start pontoon. We run from 1 minute to 20 seconds in 10-second increments, right, all the way down. Once we get under starters orders, Kay, then we turn it over to the starters, right, and they take it from there.
Well, that's when you're going to see the flag out in the middle of the course. So you'll see there's a pontoon boat out in the middle. There'll be a flag on that start. That is when they drop the flag. That's just like dropping the green flag on NASCAR. That's
right.
When these guys will just, like you said, they will go out. But what happens to our poor drivers if they get itchy fingers, Thomas?
That's that ragged line that drivers have to live, is if you jump the gun, If you jump the gun and gets caught before the rest of the racers start, you're lucky. Count yourself lucky because you move to the end of the dock. If you jump and then everybody else takes off, now you get a lap penalty assessed at the end of the race. Neither are good. Scenario 2 much better than scenario 1. However, you don't want either. And you know, the tricky thing here is going to be holding these boats with this current. I mean, we were talking to Jet Ski Jared earlier, our famous leader of the on-site rescue crew, also the pace boat for our Texas tri-hulls. And we asked him, like, hey, Jared, how long do you think to get from one end of the course to the other, just floating? He's like, oh, maybe a minute? Maybe.
We still have to time him on that. I think we might have to do that.
Like, could you imagine this entire course here on the Alton side of the river, and you float down it?
Oh, look on the live stream. You can see how much they're already struggling to keep these boats onto the dock.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky. This pole man right here in front, for those of you locally, if you can see down on the start pontoon, in his own right back in the day, to the point where I believe Doug getting into being a referee wasn't necessarily Doug's choice.
You know, and I call him Uncle Doug. He's not really family related, but grew up with Uncle Doug at the race courses. Uncle Doug raced many, many times against my dad, and it was, you know, it was always great to have Uncle Doug come up. He always came up from California. We're like, oh man, the Rays are in the house. And Uncle Doug's got a lot of history back there. We are super thankful for him to be our chief referee. He's doing everything he can to make sure the conditions are safe for our drivers. Welcome, fans. Look at the fan crowd we got going on here, Thomas.
What a fantastic crowd we've got. I mean, the boats are lined up along the outer course markers. The banks are absolutely jammed here in downtown Alton. You know, we've got racing all day. We got Larkin Poe headlining the Mississippi River Festival tonight. And I'm telling you guys, if you're here in Alton and you don't have a ticket for the concert tonight, you need to get one, because Larkin Poe, these two sisters out of Nashville, will blow your mind with their skills on the guitar. The raw blues mixed with that Nashville country sound that they've got is fantastic. I think we're set to see a band like Larkin Poe be a household name here in the next couple of years. And you can say you saw them back before anybody knew who they were, back at the revival of the Mississippi River Festival right here at the Alton Midwest Nationals 2024.
Once again, the doors open at 5 o'clock. Music starts at 6. I'm thinking I'm going to bring my dancing shoes and head on up there after the races. But right now, we're going to keep our eyes out onto the water. Are you guys ready to go? Are you all ready for some fast racing? Speeds at over 110 miles per hour. 12 of our fastest drivers are ready to go out there. Thomas, I am so excited for this. But once again, we are just making sure the racing conditions, the course is set up for these drivers for their safety. I want to thank all of you. Make sure you guys are all staying hydrated. Make sure you guys go walking through the pits, talk to these drivers, look inside of the cockpit of these drivers. They are more than willing to answer any of your questions. Shirts are for sale all throughout the pits. I saw some over at the Love family. I also saw some at the Rinkers.
Yeah, I think Andy Miller in the DD1. Here we go, 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. On the pole, the 52, Chris, the real deal Rinker. Can he come off like a rocket and run this thing wire to wire? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will it be the number 14 of Andrew Tate or the 17 of Dylan Anderson? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will our winner in round 2, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo and that Snap-on Tools machine, figure it out and come top spot on the podium here in qualifying heat number 1? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could it be the 13 of Grant Schubert, the 24 of Spencer Love, or the 03 of Dustin Terry? 20 seconds, drivers. Oh, got to stop the count here. Looks like we got something going on the race course. Oh, stop the count. Just being held pulled off by chief referee Doug Ray. Looks like we might have had a miscommunication between our starter and our chief referee. Hey, Kay, thankfully, he was able to catch that before any of these guys fired. That would have been a whole mess that none of us wanted to deal with.
Well, I think it might have been debris coming down the river that they were cautious about. So all of our fans that are out there on the water with a really great view out there, if you see some kind of a log out there on the water, I do ask that you snatch that up, put it inside your boat, take it on home, throw it on the fire pit, and have yourself a bonfire later on tonight. At the same time, make sure that you go check out our Facebook site at F1 Powerboat. You can see all of the live streaming right there. Also, you can see past races, get race results, video. You've got the link directly to the website that's going to give you our up-and-coming races, because we're only halfway through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're here at the Alton Midwest Nationals, and we've got the Midwest Challenge, Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and round out this season in Colorado, Windsor, Colorado, September 13th, 14th, for the Roar of the Rockies 2024. But yeah, looks like somebody caught a large piece of debris. You can see Jet Ski Jared's out there taking care of it right now. Our fearless jet ski wunderkind. I mean, I don't know what we'd do without Jared. He is a man of many talents. He does a lot of different things, and then we can see there it is. Ooh, look at that one.
That might do so. Do we want to go back a couple years? I mean, when I talk about this story, I'm going to talk about Port Neches with
sure.
Spencer Love.
Oh yeah, it's a very, I think it's one of those very visceral memories because because of the situation, right?
It was. I was up hiking up in the hills because you knew that. I was up hiking in the hills. I was watching the live stream. What kind of a person does that besides a boat guru? And all of a sudden I was watching, and I could see it was RJ on the inside, Spencer on the outside, and you saw Spencer just duck. Well, unfortunately, one of the logs got caught in the lower unit, and then all of a sudden Spencer was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it was impressive. Outside of row one, 3-lap dash for cash. Green, white checker,
yeah.
And it was there we go. Like, he's getting that thing hauled off the course.
That's going to be pretty good on the bonfire later.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what this would do to a boat, right? I mean, if you hit with your pleasure boat that's got a pretty thick hull at 25, 30 miles an hour, it's not maybe going to do a ton of damage to your boat, right? Might ding your prop up pretty good. But when you hit that in a designed or purpose-built race boat at 100-plus miles an hour, you've hit debris out there, I would imagine, in your reason.
Yeah.
What does it do to one of these boats?
I actually, we have a race down in Newberg, Oregon that we go to, and we would literally, my boat's made out of plywood. I would literally bring an extra sheet of plywood because we would go do, maybe some boat repairs at night. It'll punch a pretty good hole. We saw a giant basketball-sized hole in the tri-hull from when we were at Port Neches. We saw that. They unfortunately weren't able to repair that weekend, but we got some great boat builders, and we got a lot of mechanics here in the pits, and we saw it last weekend, or at the Memorial Day weekend. We saw Chris Rinker. He punched a big hole in the side of his. The next morning, back out onto the course.
Yep, yeah, we got, we saw the 92 of Dean Comer and the 93 of RJ West both succumb to some pretty heavy debris. And, all right, the wind, obviously, today, all the debris wants to move its way to this side of the river because the wind's pushing it. I wouldn't mind if the Mother Nature would flip the wind for tomorrow and have it coming, from our backs across, going.
I just don't want any wind.
From the Illinois side to the Missouri side. Oh, here we go. 1-minute drivers. They now got it all figured out, and on the pole, the 52 of Chris Rinker is going to try to go wire to wire in qualifying heat number 1 as he qualified with that lone sub 33-second lap time. 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. There's the 14 of Andrew Tate, that Phenom Ventures machine, that DAC carbon fiber hull. Will he jump off? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Then it's the 17 of Dylan Anderson in that low car performance. Anderson Marine Machine. Can he pull off heat number 1? 30 seconds, drivers. 30 seconds. Or will it be the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, the 13 of Grant Schubert? Let's see who's going to grab those qualifying points. 20 seconds, drivers. You're under starter's orders. The flag is up. Well, he comes jumping off. That was a quick jump there by Rinker. What a bad jump. Terrible jump by the 14 of Andrew Tate. And look at the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo come flying. What happened to the 17 of Dylan Anderson? He's nowhere to be found.
Looks like he might have come out on that second flag, but it looks like Andrew Tate, unfortunately, underpowered in the middle of the course. But here comes Rinker. He was able to hack off Jeremiah Mayo, the number 8, the winner of the last race. They're going to come flying down the start-finish line. That will be the 52, Rinker, followed by the snap-on tools of Jeremiah Mayo. 13, Grant Schubert. Dustin Terry, the 03. Spencer Love, the 24. 99, the Yates. The 12 of Sean Love.
The 17 of Dylan Anderson.
34 of Jeff Marino, followed by our Canadian of Aiden. It looks like Tater's able to get back up under power. We're going to see if he's going to go back in. He's going to come right back out on the course. We're going to have to see if that's going to make a factor as Rinker comes quickly up on his inside.
As we can see, these boats continue to work their way down in this first lap here in this 7 minutes plus 1 lap. Qualifying heat number 1 in Formula 1. That is our leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker. Walk by. There's the 8 of Jeremiah Mann now coming through in second. Now moved up into third is that Simmons Hanley Conroy sponsored 03 of Dustin Terry, then the 13 of Grant Schubert, then the 24 of Spencer Love. So Dustin Terry maybe didn't qualify well, but he's on a mission here in heat number 1.
Can't really see it on the live stream as well as I can see it sitting right here. and it looks like they are getting really flighty. They're coming down that front stretch right in, head into the nose of this wind.
Absolutely, and we can see on the overhead there, the 24 of Spencer Love now going down to the backside of the course. There's our leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker, coming across the start-finish line. And that Rinker's Boat World, McLean Trailers, Roswell Audio Machine. He damaged that thing, went over not once, but twice in Shreveport, and now he is on a mission because he knows, Kay, without a W this weekend, or a podium at worst, he's done for the conversation for the season points championships, and that's a big deal for the 52 of Chris Rinker.
Jeremiah sitting in second knows the same exact scenario. He must get around Rinker. He is the top leader right now in points. That would be Jeremiah Mayo in the number 8 of the Snap-on Tools. But charging right behind him is Chris Rinker. This could be a big points change when it comes down to the final numbers at the end of the year. Jeremiah Mayo starts to look like he's coming away. The gap between Rinker and Jeremiah Mayo is just getting bigger and bigger by each lap.
Yeah, and the 8 of Mayo is pushing everything, but he understands, right? He's also, you can't finish first if you don't first finish. He's got to be smart about it. He can't push too hard. I think you're seeing that from the 03 of Dustin Terry as they've really, those two have separated away. There is the Simmons Hanley Conroy sponsored 03 out of Dustin Terry, the young driver out of Houma, Louisiana, and that livery that's an homage to the great Bill Siebold, a St. Louis native and staple in Formula One powerboat racing for the better part of 4 decades. The greatest driver to ever get behind the wheels. He goes wide out of turn number 3, now off 3, now sweeps it through 4. We get a great overhead shot now onto the other end of the course. That's our leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker. And here's what's amazing, right? Andrew Tate qualifies second. He can't even get around the 98 Aiden Benton, so when he's out there running, is he running under full power?
I don't think he is because, well, he is starting to pick them off one by one. Let's keep an eye on that 14 of Andrew Tate, driven by the Phenom Ventures. He's picking them off one by one. He's getting around the Canadian, the 98. He's got his eyes on Gates of the 99, but here comes our fearless leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker. Second place right there in the number 8. Snap-on Tools brings you Jeremiah Mayo.
Yeah, and if you look at there, I mean, there's just a couple of seconds between the 8 of Mayo. Oh no, looks like we got somebody go over. Oh no, 98 of Aiden Benton goes over down in the far north end of the course. Our rookie out of Ontario in his first race here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Looks like that boat might have some pretty extensive damage on the left sponson, and that is not how the young driver from Ontario wanted to start his first race here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, but it looks like he is out of that boat. We're having rescue crews get to him immediately as our sport rescue team gets on board. That boat going so fast, it's going to be imperative we get Jet Ski Jared and the rest of the guys down there first to make sure he's okay. Boy, I don't know if we got a replay of that. We're going to have our guys working on it. It looks like we did not have a replay as we were following our leader.
Look at the hole in the side of that sponson.
Yeah, I don't know if he took some debris or if or what happened there, if he got together with another boat, but boy, he went over just trying to set that thing left to go back down out of turn number 2 after he crossed the start-finish line. He was running well. Definitely had some gremlins, but he was looking good. I mean, him and the 14 of Andrew Tate, I mean, he held him off for 3-4 laps. Unfortunate, and I don't even know if his weekend is going to be even functional for the rest of the weekend. He's going to have to really take a hard look at what repairs are going to be like. But the biggest thing is he's safe.
Yes.
Right, that's what matters. You can see Jet Ski Jared's got him hooked up there. Wow, yeah, that left sponson really took a beating when it went over. Yeah, and that's, unfortunate. That either thing came apart from him setting the boat in the corner or he hit somebody before. I hadn't seen him get together with anybody, so I don't know if that's it. The third, obviously, when you're running on the Mississippi, is you pick up a piece of debris, and as we know, when you try to turn a boat that has a small hole, that small hole becomes a very large hole very quickly.
Yeah, the pressure not only inside of the boat, but on the pressure of it smacking on the water. Especially we're talking about that left-hand sponson takes the most pressure going fast, turning left. That's the one that's going to be, you want to almost extra indulge that one, make sure that you got maybe an extra roll of duct tape on that, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that one fixed up by the end of the weekend. But you never know around here when it comes to hydroplane racing, any class, size, shape, or speed. I was actually having this conversation with them and another driver that when one driver is down, 4 to 5 other teams will jump into those pits and help him out. Some sports, you just don't see that.
No.
But when you come to hydroplane racing, you definitely see. We're going to see it actually later on today in the Formula Lights.
Right, yeah, absolutely. The 66 of Randy Parch got into a brutal accident in round 2 with the 12 of Trident Schleicher. He's spent the last 3 weeks diligently fixing all of the stress cracks and the damage, and he just had to throw the white flag. He's like, guys, I can't come.
And guess who stepped in?
Well, one of his competitors, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach's like, hey, man, I got a boat. It's a pew. It's got the same bottom pew that you used to run. You should be familiar with the bottom of this boat. That you should feel comfortable in it. He's like, all right, man. And fantastic. I mean, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach is really doing everything he can to, bring Formula Light racing into the next generation of drivers, and we're seeing that with the Shelby Loves, the Trident Schleichers, and the Eric Weinzacks of the world. But yeah, that's an unfortunate turn of events for the number 98 of Aiden Benton. And here's the deal, right, is I don't know if we are going to keep running here. I would assume we are.
We'll have to wait to find out from our officials right now. They are all just trying to work together to see what our game plan is. So don't go far. We are, as you can tell, we're not letting our drivers go anywhere because we don't want you to go anywhere. We're going to send them back out here shortly for another rerun of that heat. Hopefully we'll get them all back in what I call wet side down by the end of our race. Once again, I want to thank all of the city of Alton and all of your volunteers, all the fans, for bringing us here for the F1 Powerboat Racing. We hope you're having just as much fun as we are. These drivers are excited to be here. We're going to get these boats lined back up on that dock. If you're one of the lucky ones to stand right up on the fence, you can peek over, get some great shots, throw them across your social media. Make sure that you say, hey, I'm down here at Alton for day 1 of 2. We will be back here again tomorrow, so don't go very far. Once again, I want to thank all of the city of Alton for bringing us here, all the volunteers. Thomas, also thankful for you because your book of knowledge just gets to me. It's like, I have to admit, I do listen. Well, a couple weeks ago, I was sitting at my daughter's softball game with you in my ear.
Well, my first boat race, I was not even 2 months old. So,
Lexi was at her first boat race when she was 3 weeks old.
Yeah, I got 40 years, and I was fortunate enough as we see a lot in tunnel boat racing. You see these generations, right?
I'm third.
Yeah, you're a third generation. Well, I'm a second generation boat race announcer. My father, Walt Yarbrough, they call him the mouth from the south. He was the guy, right? He was the guy for 20 years. Traveled the world. Doing everything. Looks like we got some shot here. That's the 14. It looks like they're just trying to hold that boat upright. He's having a chance to chat with the 14 of Andrew Tate. Tater had a rough start there. The boat lost power. So they're trying to get him on the start, try to figure out what the heck is going on.
Might be his lucky card.
Correct.
Yeah, some of these guys are dealt the lucky card with a restart. Andrew Tate going to have to go to the casino later on today and see if he can use that lucky card and maybe get him some money off that. Remember, we were just talking about that. The Argosy Casino has also offered that you could bet on these drivers. So whether it be if it's from a state that you're from, your favorite number, your favorite color, pick out one of these drivers, cheer them on. Also, the pits are open to the public. You guys can come on in, no charge. Make sure that you talk to these drivers and see how they got involved. Ask them their stories about hydroplane racing in any different class or size. And also, great opportunity for you to be a sponsor of one of these boats. Put your name on the side. I call them the floating billboards. You're sitting here right now watching here. You're also throwing it on your Facebook Live, your Instagram, your social media. You're going to throw those there. You want to have your company name on the side of the social media? Then that's the way to do it. Once again, pits are open. Come on in.
All right, well, we're going to be right back. Just got notified with 4 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in our opening heat. We're going to do a rolling 2x2 start to get this conclusion of qualifying heat number 1. But we're going to first say a big thank you to our sponsors here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. First and foremost, Mercury Racing, a leading provider of high-performance marine propulsion systems for discerning boat owners around the world. Learn more about its wide-open line of outboards, stern drives, and propellers for performance boaters or race teams at mercuryracing.com. The Simmons Law Firm right here in downtown Alton, Illinois. Simmons Hanley Conroy, with over 50 attorneys and 175 employees nationwide, their firm has the resources necessary to handle high-stakes litigation and secure life-changing amounts of compensation for clients. Find one of their talented attorneys to help you with your fight at simmonsfirm.com. The city of Alton, nestled along the majestic banks of the Mississippi River, Alton, Illinois, the city you never realized you always wanted to be. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau is proud to partner with the city of Alton and Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat racing back to the Mississippi River here in Illinois. For visitor information on their website, find it at riversandroutes.com. Enjoy your time here in Alton. Kicker Marine Audio, the official series audio partner of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Kicker, living live, living loud. Find out more at kicker.com. Moto Marketing Group, accelerating brands for over 35 years. From developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast to websites that run fast, Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle, wraps, websites, photography, and print design. They do it all professionally and for a great price. Check them out at motomarketinggroup.com or find them on Facebook or YouTube, Moto Marketing Group. The great folks, your local Toyota dealers. Hunganese and Burkhardt Alton Toyota. Toyota's got more all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles than any other brand. So get behind the wheel today and take that adventure to the top. Visit your local Alton Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. And our starting lineup sponsor for the weekend, Metro East Mega Storage. 3 convenient locations in Edwardsville and Wood River, Illinois. Metro East Mega Storage can handle any storage need, from boat to Class A RV, and now offering business and self-storage units with 24/7 security and temperature-controlled facilities. Your only choice for storage is Metro East Mega Storage. All right, okay, well, we're back here. We got them lined up on the back straightaway, minus the 98 of Aiden Benton. I talked to race director, operations director John Schubert. Looks like slight cut on the face, but the boat has gotten some pretty severe damage on that left sponson. Just a standard barrel roll went over, but obviously the rough river and the current hard slap down there into the corner for the 98 Aiden Benton, but doing a rolling start now here with these final drivers here in qualifying heat number 1.
A couple different ways that we do start with our formula. As we saw earlier, we did the flag start, a 2-flag start, which you don't see that too often, but we did a 2-flag start. Now we're going to give these boys a rolling start. Disadvantage to some, advantage to others, because they've been working on their starts off the dock.
Right.
Some of these drivers are actually banking on that quick start off the dock.
All right, as he's got him lined up, pace, jet ski Jared pulls off the course. Here we go, we're back underway. 4 minutes, 34 seconds remain. And look at the 8 of Jeremiah. Get out of my way, Mayo. The young driver
On the
Richmond, Texas.
Keep an eye on the inside, Dustin Terry.
He is moving, and ladies and gentlemen, out in front, we got a new leader, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He came out like an absolute rocket, Kay. And boy, talk about a guy who got a great rolling start jump.
He did, and you know what? I just talked about it. Some of these drivers were banking on the rolling start. Some are banking on the dock start. An advantage for Jeremiah Mayo of the number 8 Snap-on Tools, taking advantage of that. He's going to take over that first place from Rinker of Rinker Boat World. But keep an eye on that 03 from Simmons Law, Dustin Terry. He's trying to do everything he can to sneak on the inside of Chris Rinker of the Rinker Boat World 52.
Absolutely, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo goes through the chicane, now across the start-finish line through turn 1. Now slams the door down into, there's the 13 of Schubert and the 17 of Anderson doing battle as they're back fighting for 4th, 5th, 6th. And let's look at the 14 of Andrew Tate and that Phenom Ventures goes wide to the outside as they look at 3 wide, fighting for 4th, 5th, and 6th down the back straightaway. Our leaders now going into the south end of the course. They're going to turn 4. Now here's the 13 of Schubert and the 17 of Dylan Anderson. They go through the turn number 3 on the backstretch, flying their way down into turn number 4 at the far south end of the course. This is a hard turn. It gets rough. Can the 17 Anderson? Oh, look out there. The 14 of Tate, the 13 of Schubert almost get together. The 17 of Dylan Anderson's got to lay down the inside. They go down side by side down the front straightaway, fighting for 4th position.
I don't know if I want to be Grant Schubert right now, but he's got Anderson on his outside. He's got Tate on the outside, Anderson on the inside. Anderson's going to take the inside. Tate going to come flying around him in that number 14 Phenom Ventures.
And now Tate's looking to go wide around the outside, keeping those RPMs up. Can he arch his way through the backstretch and make his way down into turn number 4 as he's trying to track down the man in 3rd? The 14 of Andrew Tate has now figured it out. I don't know what happened, but that restart was the best thing that could have happened to the 14 of Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate just ducked on the inside. It looked like Anderson was trying to go for the inside. Andrew Tate slammed the door. He's got his eyes on the 03 of Simmons Law, driven by Dustin Terry.
Yeah.
Dustin goes on the inside. Tate swings out wide. Anderson floats right in between them.
And the 03 of Dustin Terry pushing hard. Now he's going to drive that 14 all over the course with that big APX V8 4.6 liter 4-stroke Mercury, but there is the man out in front, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He is driving the thing like he stole it, but his rearview mirror is full of the 52 of Chris Rinker. These two have separated themselves from the field, and they are in a dynamic battle coming down the front stretch. We got another lap complete, 1 minute 54 seconds, plus 1 lap here in the opening qualifying heat of this Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, round 3, here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. It is windy, it is rough. Mother Nature is rearing its ugly head, and the Mississippi is eating out here, and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo has got it running on the ragged edge.
Andrew Tate's picking him off one by one, and now he's made his way up onto the podium. He's in 3rd place. He is walking away from the rest of the fleet. Andrew Tate, the number 14, but our leader is the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, followed by, in hot pursuit, Chris Rinker of Rinker Boat World 52, all the way out of Texas as they come flying across the start-finish line. We are now seeing 1 minute 15 seconds left of this fight, of this heat.
I don't know if the 52 of Chris Rinker is going to have enough time to catch a Jeremiah Mayo, but man, 14 of Andrew Tate is driving it like he absolutely stole it. He's got to be absolutely killing himself. Oh no, the 52 of Chris Rinker goes dead in the water down the far end of the course. The 52 of Chris Rinker goes dead in the water. Andrew Tate moves up to 2nd, and the 03 of Dustin Terry now into 3rd. So frustrating for the driver out of Spring, Texas. No, he got it fired again. It looks like it might have been a kill switch issue or something happened down there, so he's going to stay on the lead lap. But with a minute remaining, we now see Andrew Tate up in the 2nd. The 24 of Spencer Love is pulled off the course, and the 03 of Dustin Terry has got a battle going on, and that does not sound good at all.
Did not sound good, and I'm not sure what happened to Jeremiah Mayo, but that puts your leader. A whole change of points is changing up right now.
Oh no, he got it back under power.
But
there's the 03 of Dustin Terry and the 17 of Dylan Anderson. They're still fighting for 3rd place. But the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, he's not going very fast, but he still have it under power. Looks like the 14 of Tate might be able to catch him. We're right over top. There's the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo out in front. He is not running under full speed, and there goes the 14 of Andrew Tate wide to the outside as he's looking to pass this young driver as they go deck to deck, side by side down the front straightaway. And the 14 of Andrew Tate is now your new leader with 1 lap to go. He was at one point in last place in the heat. He now finds himself in 1st with the 03 of Dustin Terry in 2nd, and the 8 of the 17 of Dylan Anderson 3rd. Mayo's now back to 4th. And now he's just trying to finish laps to get some sort of points, Kay.
Exactly. I was just going to say some points are better than none, but he's going to milk that thing all the way through. He only has a half a lap to go. But the one who's grinning from ear to ear is the number 14. Andrew Tate comes down to see the checkered flag for Phenom Ventures.
As he walks it out of the chicane down the front straightaway, taking qualifying heat number 1, number 14, Andrew Tate. And in 2nd, the number 03 of Dustin Terry, and the 17 of Dylan Anderson finishing out in 3rd, with the 13 of Grant Schubert in 4th, the 52 of Chris Rinker in 5th, the 12 of Sean Love in 6th, and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo does not even finish the heat race. His boat goes dead in the water with a more than likely a blown motor on the back of that Snap-on Tools machine, and that just made the rest of this weekend very, very difficult for the young driver out of Richmond, Texas. He won round 2. He came here setting a blistering speed. He was able to get past the 52 of Chris Rinker on that rolling restart, and he ran that thing on the ragged edge and just tiptoed over the edge for 1 split second, and that's all it takes here in Formula One Powerboat Racing. He pushed it a little too hard. That motor broke, and now he's sitting at the south end of the course, floating down towards St. Louis with his head in his hands as frustration sets in for the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, recognizing that he's got a long weekend to go now. He has got to have a perfect weekend in qualifying for the next 2 heats before the final tomorrow afternoon, because he didn't cross the start-finish line. So he didn't get any points. That's a DNF. You have to finish. He tried to limp it around for a lap and a half, and he wasn't able to do it. Great overhead shot here. Let's take a look at these overhead shots. What a fantastic crowd we got. Everybody's packed along the banks of the Mississippi River here in beautiful downtown Alton, Illinois. Don't forget the revival of the Mississippi River Fest tonight, headlined by Grammy Award-winning artist Larkin Poe here at the amphitheater right in downtown Illinois. What a beautiful amphitheater, the big grass hill, fantastic views. I'm very excited. I've got my tickets. I hope you have yours. If you don't have your tickets to the Mississippi River Fest for tonight, hey, it's a lot breezier and nicer outside than we thought it was going to be. Am I right, everybody? Well, with that, don't forget, grab your tickets to the Mississippi River Festival. My partner, Kay, has made her way down to talk to Andrew Tate, affectionately known as Tater, in the pits. What a great run it was for him. Unexpected, I can imagine, for that driver who came off the dock decent, not great. I'd say decent good, maybe is about as good as it was going to be. He then goes dead in the water, gets it restarted, is fighting in the back of the pack. We got a restart after an accident by our rookie, the 98 of Aiden Benton, and he somehow rides that thing all the way to the checkered flag. There's no way he thought after that motor went dead down in the middle of the course here on the start that he was ever going to take the checkered flag here in qualifying heat number 1. All right, we're going to send things down to my partner in crime, Kay Myers, and she's got our winner of qualifying heat number 1, the number 14 of Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, he just went over that whole scenario. What happened on that first start when he went dead up in turn 2?
Honestly, think I turned the fuel pump off when I went to hit the ignition, so that one's on me. What a heat, what a turnaround, totally unexpected, as Thomas said. Thanks to the team, thanks to Alton, thanks for the officials and the volunteers for having us here.
How did it feel when you were sitting there going down the front stretch and you watched Chris, he unfortunately lost power, then you started going around Jeremiah Mayo in the number 8, and that put you in the first place position. They were dropping like flies in front of you. Yeah,
it was pretty wild. I actually came over the radio and asked, what the hell's going on here? Are we still racing? He goes, yeah, there's a buoy going, do this, do that, but it was carnage out there. You never want to win a race at the expense of other people and their equipment, but hey, we'll take it.
I like that idea. You know, I'm going to let you get back into the boat. It's a little warm in there. You look like you could use some refreshing. I have a feeling there might be some changes in the boat. You guys are going to go through and figure out, bring it up, see what might have happened with that. Maybe it was you with a little trigger. Maybe there was some issues with the motor.
Yeah, I got scared.
Not something you hear out of this man very often. He is one heck of a driver. It's great to see him. Congratulations, Andrew Tate, number 14, Phenom Ventures.
All right, Kay. Well, yeah, what a great run it was there by the number 14 of Andrew Tate. Tater, as they call him. He's normally behind the cockpit of a hydroplane, a little bit different than a tunnel boat. A hydroplane does not have the sponsons that run down the entire length of the hull, and they use a canard wing, which acts like an airplane wing and a giant rudder that holds the boat and helps it turn. So unlike ours that have an outboard motor, these are inboard boats that have a direct drive shaft and then a turning rudder. We use the entire motor to turn our boats, but definitely some translation clearly for the 14 of Andrew Tate from those hydroplane disciplines over here to the OPC, or outboard performance craft category of the American Powerboat Association, our governing body here in the United States, a part of the world governing body of powerboat racing, which is the UIM, the Union Internationale Mécanique, based in Monaco. we're all part of a global organization. We all race under a construct of rules that are agreed upon and voted upon on an annual basis. But boy, Andrew Tate quickly looking like one of the most dominant powerboat racers across any discipline, right? I mean, Sean Torrente had this probably 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, he was killing everybody in offshore racing, tunnel boat racing, right? He's a multi-time world champion. You felt at that time you could have probably put Torrente in an H1 Unlimited Hydro, and he would have probably won there as well. I mean, are we seeing the emergence of Andrew Tate being the dominant boat racing force in North America?
You know, I would not be shocked. You just talked about it. I was listening to you as I was running through the pits. With Andrew Tate, it was like next weekend he's going to be in Guntersville, Alabama, in an H1 Unlimited, doing 150 plus miles per hour. Then he's going to go jump over to Valleyfield, going to go race an inboard. Wouldn't be shocked if I don't see him at the APBA Nationals in Moses Lake coming up in a couple weeks too.
Right, yeah, well, Moses Lake, that's a little bit further away, but I know for him, I know Andrew, dude, I basically spend every weekend from May to September racing boats.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, and it's amazing because he's figured out how to do it on somebody else's dime.
I would like to figure that out.
Which, I mean, no surprise, he's such a dominant force because he's a hired gun. I mean, at this point, he's a hired gun. And we see there our Formula Lights are out on the water. So up next, we do have our Formula Lights qualifying. Just like we did in the Formula One class, the Formula Lights were out earlier, Kay. They had a chance to go through and lay down their fast lap qualifiers. And we saw quite a few fast laps, but no surprise, the 12 and the 24, the two boats in that Clover construction machine team, dominant, find themselves on the top of the starting grid here in qualifying heat number 1 in Formula Lights.
And I'm not really shocked on that one at all, but the funny part is aren't they dating?
I don't know how that's working. I don't necessarily get into the specifics of the interdynamic workings of the
if you want to get into a fast
racing team.
If you want to get into a fast Formula 8, go check out Clover Construction. They seem to have it figured out.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But we've got, other fantastic drivers. Probably one of, if not the most decorated Formula Lights driver in the field here. He's not had the best 2024. That's the 35 at Pizza Inn, sponsored machine of Mark Schmierbach. It'll be curious to see. This is a different course that the Formula Lights are running than the Formula One drivers. A little bit shorter. Instead of a 5-pin, this is a 4-pin course. But I have a feeling that these smaller tunnel boats with this current and the wind, it's going to give them all they can handle.
And they can handle it. They've been through rougher water.
We've
definitely, even in our series, put them through some rough water out here. But it looks like it's actually, the wind is starting to calm down. I don't want to jinx anything, but the wind is starting to calm down. So it's going to make for a better heat, a better qualifying for all these drivers. I want to kind of pinpoint one more time with that Schmierbach thing. It's one of my favorites.
He's a good dude.
I went up to him after driver's meeting. I said, "You got this thing figured out?" And he goes, I don't know. So I walked him over to his boat. I gave it a little, what I call love tap. And so my money, if I go over to that Argosy Casino, is going to be on the 35 of Mark Schmierbach.
All right, yeah, and talk about that now. I don't think we have the Formula Lights on the sports book, only the Formula Ones. But, the great folks at Argosy Casino putting Formula One powerboat racing on the sports book for the first time in history. Super excited to be a part of that. But, the Formula Lights class is a fantastic class. It's a great place for, look at these young drivers like Dominic Trollian, right, and Shelby Love and Trident Schleicher, right, the younger next generations, 4, 5, 6 years, where do we see these drivers? Maybe we see them, at the next iteration of Formula One powerboat racer. And the 45 class is such a fantastic place to learn the Formula Lights because you're so underpowered. You really have to learn how to drive the boat, right? You get into a big Formula One boat, there's so much power that it's pretty easy to just make a nice little turn, but you're never going to really be able to understand how to set that boat really hard, but right? You can set it hard and you're going to end up on your head, upside down, you're going to barrel roll, split the boat in half, all sorts of fun things happen. Ask Aiden Benton, he can tell you all about it. But the 45 really forces you to stick your nose in the corner and turn the wheel and really set the boat, right? You're going to hear that term. For those of you here in Alton who've never been to a race, or those of you joining us from wherever you are across the world, if this is new to you, you're going to hear us use the term set the boat quite frequently. And that's because these boats at top speed, right, so much of that boat is out of the water that if you turn the boat, it's going to kind of slide around, but it's not going to really turn. But when you bring that motor in and it drops that entire sponson into the water that acts like a rail, almost like on a rail on a train, you can really hook that boat. And we see it a lot in 45 is how to set it without hooking it, right?
Yes.
Or out going over or barrel rolling. And that's a very fine line. And it's amazing to me how many drivers you see learn those tricks in 45 Formula Lights, and how they'll talk about how well that translates as they get more power and how much more confident they are in the corners with a more powerful machine like a Formula One.
Well, and you're talking about being underpowered. They're still doing 80 miles per hour across this course, and we've got a ton of them out here. Some of our veteran drivers, some of our new drivers out here in the Formula Lights. But like you said, it's like your stepping stone up into the F1s, and you see a lot of these drivers. Grant Schubert's one of them. I mean, he was in the Tri-Hall, and he was also in the Formula Lights, made his way all the way up into the F1s and did great with a great, I believe, 5th place finish on that last heat. We're going to be bringing up our Formula Lights here shortly. Don't go very far for you here in Alton. Thank you once again for opening your doors to us. It's been a pleasure being here. The temperatures are a little high. We're reaching about 96, 97 miles per hour. The wind has calmed down from this morning, which is great. The cloud cover, that's also very helpful for these drivers, so it's not reflecting off of the water too much. But the current is another big factor. The water has rised up just a little bit. That's bringing some of our debris in. It's also changing the current, always changing the current. Talking to some of these drivers, I've been asking them, how is the course out here? And a lot of drivers are saying that turn 2, turn 3 and 4, turn 2, 3 and 4 are all got like the little bit more of a ragged edge onto it. Like it's kind of easy and smooth to go through turn 1, but they're almost feeling that current like pick the prop edge up, and they're spinning them around just a little bit. But all these drivers are sitting out here right now getting a little hot inside of those Formula Lights. They're ready to go racing. I'm ready to go racing. Are you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, the reason for the delay, as you can see on our screen here for those who aren't in Alton, one of our volunteers that's out there tracking debris on the river has got itself hooked into a pretty big log and was holding on to it to figure out what to do with it if they were going to let it flow through. Because, right, that's what we're doing is, depending on where the log is at, we may let it flow through or we may hold the log up. And so that's what they're doing. We're going to get them back off the course. They're going to slowly make their way. I don't know if they allowed it to flow downstream or if they're holding it up at the north end of the course. But it looks like then we'll get hot laps. Then we'll line up these 9 drivers here in Formula Lights, and we'll get them ready to roll for their first of 3 qualifying heats, 2 today, 1 tomorrow. And let's take a look at the rest of our schedule. We've got Formula Lights qualifying, heat number 1. Then we've got Formula Lights, the Tri-Hall, heat number 2, another 7-lapper. And then we were supposed to have the river open, Kay, but because we got all the barge traffic through earlier, we're going to nix the river open, and right after Tri-Hall heat number 2, we're going to roll into Formula 1 heat number 2, and then Formula Lights heat number 2 to wrap up the afternoon with, don't forget, we're selling those 50-50 raffle tickets. The 50-50 raffle winner will be announced at the conclusion of the Formula Lights boat race. That'll wrap it up. Everybody will go get refreshed, and get ready to rock and roll with Larkin Poe leading our night at the Mississippi River Festival. I'm super excited about it.
I can tell. Once again, doors open at 5. Music starts
at
6. Dancing starts at 6:05. I'm going to have to say, you know me, I've been like bopping around these pits. People are like laughing at me. I love doing that. We got a green flag out on the course. We're going to get our Formula Lights moving across the water.
There we go. This is hot laps for these Formula Lights. Get these 14-foot-long tunnel hulls with these 2-cylinder, 45.5 cubic inch OMC outboards on the back. The Formula Lights class brought to you by Seaway Marine. You know, the great Giacomoto, as my father used to call him. Again, like I told you, I'm a second-generation powerboat racing announcer, and my father named the CEO of Seaway Marine. I don't know where he got the nickname, the great Giacomoto, but it's stuck with him for quite some time. A fantastic Formula 3 driver, but big shout out to the great folks at Seaway Marine. Seaway Marine operates out of a 62,000 square foot warehouse packed with current OEM parts, aftermarket parts, vintage hard to find parts. They ship over 100,000 packages a year all over the U.S. Same day shipping on in-stock orders. Their staff is arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry with decades of experience. They pride themselves in excellent customer service. Your one-stop boat motor shop, and your presenting sponsor here in Formula Lights, the great folks at Seaway Marine, your Johnson and Evinrude parts distributor.
I've been there many. I'm lucky enough I have that in my backyard. So I just could run down and go get whatever I need for my motors whenever I'm like.
Well, and the nice thing is, too, is you catch Greg and you pick up the brain of somebody who's got, 30 years of building motors. And, they ran the Johnson F1 program back in the early 2010s. As they tried to get that program off the ground. And, a lot of research and a lot of time. And Greg is such a meticulous individual. The restorations, I think he just got done restoring a Molinari Mod 50, which is an older class that had an OMC power on it. And this thing is beautiful.
Might have to make a venture down to the boat shop.
Well, and I think you'll see a lot more than just that down there. He's got, I would imagine, he's somewhere here hanging out somewhere, but I imagine he's probably got half a dozen boats.
I do thank Seaway for a lot of what they do across the plate when it comes to APBA outboard racing. They are one of the nonstop, like you said, nonstop places to go for any kind of a outboard. Evinrude, Johnson, Mercury, they got it. They'll help you out.
Yeah, even like Chris Craft and a lot of your old inboards, your Volvo inboards, right? Really, like I picture Seaway Marine as like a kid in a candy shop, but like a 40-year-old engine racing boat nut goes in there. People like you.
I was going to say that would
exactly like you.
Me.
And I can just see you walk in and like jumping up and down and clapping your hands together, so excited because it's like a candy store for adults, especially those that race boats.
Well, and I have another one at home. I've gone to it, the Mike Jones boat shop. That's like a whole city block worth of boats, vintage boats, new boats, and the knowledge behind that man. Right. He's got it made. I'm also lucky enough, if you're ever out visiting, which someday you're going to come out to Seattle.
Well, I've been out there a few times, just not in a while, because the Seafair doesn't let us Formula One guys run there anymore.
I'm working on that.
I know.
But I'm lucky enough that if you're ever out in the Pacific Northwest, make sure you stop by at the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum.
Yeah,
that is huge. It is so much fun. It's right down by SeaTac. Get off the airplane. Make sure you stop by at the Hydroplane Race Boat Museum. One place, if you're a boat guru like I am, that's the place to go to.
Yeah, if you think about it, powerboat racing in the United States has been around since 1903.
Yeah.
That's when the American Powerboat Association, which was our governing body, was formed, and it still is our governing body today. For the last 6 decades, Formula One powerboat racing, which we're seeing here, really has been the pinnacle of outboard performance craft. You're talking about the power to weight ratio, how light these machines are, and these are just different iterations of Formula One, right? These smaller boats, where did they get the design for these smaller boats? They just made the big boats smaller, right? And they put smaller power. What a fantastic day we've had so far, and what a fantastic run we're going to have here as we get these Formula Light boats lined up on the start pontoon. All right, looks like we've got them almost all lined up. Just the final couple of boats here getting ready to fly, turn their way around onto the start pontoon. Just like in the Formula One class, the modified Le Mans start is how we are going to run these Formula Light boats here on the shores of the Mississippi River. And we're going to start from 1 minute, and we're going to count down all the way to 50 seconds. Excuse me, all the way to 20 seconds. Then they're going to, under starter's orders, he's going to drop that flag. These boats are going to come roaring to life. They're going to go through the middle of their course, around turns 3 and turns 4 on their course, and that will start lap 1 of this 6 minutes plus 1 lap qualifying heat. Looks like our final few boats here are getting lined up. We'll get these last 3 boats lined up. We'll be right back from a word from our sponsors.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute with our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
Mercury Racing was forged in the heat of competition. The will to win is in our DNA. Competition isn't just what we do, it's our proving ground. It's about the pursuit of power, performance, and endurance that pushes our limits and yours. We create premium marine power to take you faster and farther. The world offers limits. Mercury Racing offers freedom. Live wide open.
Local sponsor here of the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals, Max Downtown. Grab your beer, grab a drink, and a meal all at the same time. Max, with cold beer, good food, beer garden, 75 TVs, on-track betting, video poker. Make Max Downtown Alton a great place for your next great time. Simmons Law, Simmons Hanley Conroy, a veteran-owned law firm right here in Alton that's been helping victims of mesothelioma caused by asbestos for more than 20 years. Simmons Hanley Conroy working hard to get victims the compensation they deserve. If you need help, reach out to SimmonsFirm.com. The city of Alton nestled along the beautiful banks of the Mississippi River, just about 25 miles outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Alton, Illinois, picturesque community and a great place to call home, and a fantastic sponsor of the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau is a partner with the City of Alton and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat racing back to the Mississippi River. Check them out at greatriversandroutes.com. This is a cool story. I actually took the Great River Road on my trip down here from Minneapolis. My wife and I did the first half. We made it to the Quad Cities, and then we drove right here. We're going to take the Great River Road up out of Alton, all along the Mississippi River to complete on our way home. Check out the great folks at Great Rivers and Routes. JH Performance Boats. Custom, handcrafted, shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. You want to talk about a fantastic fishing boat, a center steer. What a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. Find them at jhperformanceboats.com. And our title sponsor here in Formula Lights, the great folks at Seaway Marine, your one-stop dealership for current and vintage outboard and stern drive parts. They specialize in hard to find and no longer available new old stock for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, Gale, Mercury, Force, and Chrysler outboards, as well as OMC, Merc Cruiser, and Volvo stern drives. And engine parts for Chris Crafts, and more. Your one-stop boat motor shop, your official Johnson and Evinrude parts distributor, Seaway Marine. Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Enjoy Illinois, full of state parks and forests with caves for exploring, lakes and rivers for floating, summits for climbing, and views for appreciating. The outdoors are waiting in the middle of everything. Enjoy Illinois. And don't forget, hit the sports book over at the Argosy Casino and place your bet for who's going to be the winner here of the Alton Midwest Nationals. That's right, you've heard it, for the first time ever, a sports book at a casino putting Formula One Powerboat Championship on the book. Argosy Casino, Alton, $2 long neck bottle domestics, and an all-you-can-eat buffet all weekend, all long. Check them out at Argosy Casino Alton, where all new rewards members get $20 in free slot play. All right, Kay, well, we couldn't be here without our sponsors, and it looks like we've got a final piece of debris that got picked up off the race course, and it looks like all 9 of our drivers here in Formula Lights are ready to rock and roll here for their first qualifying heat.
Yep, got them all lined up, ready to go. All of our fans are all lining up along the beach right here on this beautiful waterfront here of the Mississippi River. Could not ask for better conditions right now. It is a little bit windy, but the wind has died down since this morning. The wind conditions are getting better, the water's getting better, the drivers are getting excited, and not as excited as our fans are. Look at they're like 7 deep up here, up on this. They've got great viewing all the way down the waterfront. We also got the VIP. Make sure that you come into the pits. The pits are free for the event for all of you fans. Make sure you talk to the drivers, talk to the crews. T-shirts are for sale in the pits at each individual trailer. So make sure you grab one of those and come on into the pits.
All right, looks like we got the test flag out there. We're about to get underway here with the first of 2 qualifying heats this afternoon in the Formula Lights class. Just waiting on Chief Referee Doug Ray to get things rolling here for Formula Lights qualifying heat number 1. He's just letting some rollers from the boat that made its way through the middle of the course just a moment ago after depositing a very large log that the Mississippi tried to put in the way of our Formula Light drivers. So we're just letting those waves settle down from that boat coming across the middle of the course. Chief Referee Doug Ray surveying the entire course. He's very cognizant, and he will really scan the entire course before he ever fires that 1-minute flare. He's very conscious about being safe.
Yes, exactly, because some of our youngest drivers are getting out here on the course. We've got young Shelby Love, Trayden Schleichert out here on the course. We just want to make sure Dominic Trollian, yeah. So we're going to keep this as safe as possible for our drivers' speeds of over 80 miles per hour as they make their way out onto the course.
All right, looks like he's just keeping an eye on the course, trying to make sure it stays clear.
Looks like there's a little bit of a rolling patch right here. You can see the swirls. That's what he's got his eye on. He wants that to simmer down just a little bit because that's the front stretch where they'll be flying through at top speed.
Well, and especially right. He's looking there. It looks like there's almost a ripple in the middle of the course where they're going to drive through on the start pontoon. So I don't know if he's doing that because he's hoping it'll go away because he's worried they're really going to launch off of that swirling eddy almost in the middle of the course there. This might cause our Chief Referee Doug Ray to flip to a rolling start. He has done that, been known to do that in the past for safety concerns. But of course, most of these guys are used to the modified Le Mans start, so that's what he's looking to do here constantly in communication. Coming up on the 1-minute gun. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute on the pole here after laying down the fast lap in Formula Lights. The number 12, a Trayden Schleichert, trying to take the championship series lead here after round 3. 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Coming off his right hip is his teammate, the 24 of Shelby Love. Can she get her first victory in Formula Lights as she's near the top of the points? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. The 83 of Eric Weinzak, can he get his first win on the F1 PC here in 23? The 35 of Mark Schmierbach, always dangerous. 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Then it's the 77 of Dan Trozen, the 91 of James Klein, the 66 of Randy Parsh, the 47 of Dominic Trollian, the 82 of Corey Merrill. Let's see who's going to win qualifying heat number 1. 20 seconds, drivers are under starters' orders. He's holding them. He's holding them. Oh, no. Looks like we had a boat fall off there. Oh, we're going to have to start over. Oh, no. The 77 of Trosen and the 35 of Schmierbach. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, look out there. We got the 91 of James Klein. What's going on down there? We've got drivers that have taken off. And it looks like we might have to restart the Formula Lights here. It looks like the 77 of Daniel Trosen, his crew chief, lost grip on his Formula Light on the start pontoon. The current is so forceful before he dropped the flag. I think what happened was the 77 of Trosen's crew was trying to give him, get the pole off the boat, give him a little bit of a head start so he didn't get hooked. And he mistimed it, right?
Yeah, it looks like he might have taken the 35 of Schmierbach with him because it looked like they both kind of came off at the same time. But we're going to have to
And I think Schmierbach let his guys let go once they saw the 77 of Trosen starting to nose to go into him. Like, well, we got to let him go so we can get out of here. I don't know if there's going to be any penalty assessments to the 77 of Trosen, but we've also got, I don't know if it's going to be a penalty on the 77 of Trosen. I don't think so. I mean, you can't really penalize a driver for something that he had no control over, right? I mean, we look at racing, that's not necessarily what you like to do on the race course, but it looks like they're going to have to get some of these drivers lined back up. This has got to be frustrating for especially for the 12-ish Schleicher and the 24 Love, because they didn't move.
Yeah. They're sitting there going, where are you going? I don't remember seeing that flag go down.
Yeah, there's the 82 Q&M Water Sports of Corey Merrill of the Dawson Springs, Kentucky native in that is that a composite? Looks like a composite craft Formula Light. Big 82 on the side. You know, they were supposed to bring a 2-boat team here, but fellow driver and his son had to have an ACL repaired earlier today, and it looks like we might be going to a 2x2 rolling start. Either that or there was a penalty assessed, and they are adjusting start dock assignments here in Formula Lights. The Formula Lights guys just screwing everything up for us here.
They're making it interesting. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just curious what's going to be on the other side of that board.
Right, so do I. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I think they're either adjusting dock lineups or they're putting them in a side-by-side 2x2 rolling start formation, just with how rough the water is and the wind conditions here in Formula Lights. It's going to be a knockdown drag out when they get out there. It's going to be real rough for these Formula Lights, but hopefully we can get qualifying heat number 1 rolling here after a bit of a delay on the start. About 3/4 of the way through, we were almost ready to get under racing conditions, and an issue with the 77 at Trozen.
Wish he would turn that board. We're sitting up here watching the live stream, which has been great. And we saw that they were riding on a white board, and that tells our drivers where they are in position. We were hoping that they were going to be able to flip that board just around just so we could see it, but I guess it's just going to have to wait to see. But I think we might be going to a rolling start. We're going to have to look to see if they start to make their way back down towards the dock. Thomas, you were talking about it. The big factor is trying to hold on to those boats. I mean, we're watching debris go down. Unfortunately, we're watching debris go down this river. And we talked about it with Jet Ski Jared. 1 minute is what we calculate it probably will take him to get from one end to the other end of this
from
course.
the buoys here on the Alton side, from one buoy to the other, maybe 2 minutes, but that's just floating.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I would imagine you got to be, 15 miles an hour, 10 to 15 miles an hour, the actual speed of the river itself.
Yeah, and they're holding these boats and if you can't see from up above in our fans, down there in the dock, I mean, I do suggest you go to our live stream, but you can see how these drivers have to, or how these crew members have to hold on to the back of the boat at an angle. So it's not like when you pull up to your dock at a, with your regular pleasure boat where you could just have one person in the front, one person in the back, and you are just flush with the dock. Here you can see one of our drivers, or one of our crew members, is just barely holding on to the steering bar. And if you pan back on that camera a little bit and towards that crew member just a little bit, check out how dedicated this crew member is down here. He actually messed up his knee taking pictures for prom on a motorcycle, and he's here this weekend braced up on his belly.
Well, that's because that move caused him to not be in the cockpit himself. And so, he had to, of course, be here. He could not come. So
that's dedication right there.
That is. That is how boat racing is. I mean, people will do everything, like the Jet Ski Jared grabbing another log here, some lovely debris deposited down the Mississippi. It's a part of life on the Mississippi. I think those locally here who enjoy the Mississippi for the pleasure boating are very aware of debris. I mean, there's somebody I've known for a very long time that's about 7 minutes upriver, drives by the race course every day on his way to his shop. Well, he's a fiberglass repairman. He's made a pretty good living
I'm sure
fixing boats on the Mississippi that are made out of fiberglass. Looks like we got the sheriffs ripping through. They might be either going down to do some more patrolling on the north end of the course to kind of keep traffic moving, or outside of the course, the great folks at the sheriff here helping us keep everybody safe on the shores of the mighty Mississippi. Looks like we might have a couple of big boats that have moved their way into the race course, and it looks like we've got the sheriff now having to deal with them as we line the last couple of boats back up. Oh boy, what did they do? Now they got 2 sheriffs. They got on them. I know. Indeed.
Hope they got enough life jackets on board, because that's a hefty ticket.
Right? I mean, and I get it, right?
Yes.
I get it. And 99.9% of all of the officers, they handle those unfortunate, they got to ask the question. They got to check the light. It's a part, right? It's like It's like when the cop pulls you over for doing 7 miles an hour and then you don't have your seatbelt on. He's like, dude, I got to give you a seatbelt ticket. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But there's, of course, those few that make it difficult for others. You can see some of these wakes of all these boats, and now we've got more boats moving through from a rescue standpoint. So I don't know if we've got maybe a boat that's under distress out there. I'm going to go find out from Chief Referee Doug Ray what's going on in the Coast Guard. We got a little bit more insight is what is going on out there. It looks like we might have a boat with no power floating downriver onto the race course.
Formula One powerboats are sleek, glamorous, lightweight, and extremely maneuverable, with a power-to-weight ratio among the highest in all motorsports. Their performance speaks for itself, accelerating from 0 to 100 miles an hour in under 5 seconds, keeping it on par with a Formula One car. Top speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour while making 180-degree corners at 100 miles an hour, pulling 7 Gs in the process, making them the hardest-turning race vehicle in the world. Formula One powerboat competition begins with a 20-boat field lined up at the start pontoon, with their engines silent, awaiting the modified Le Mans start. At the drop of a flag, the world-class drivers ignite these rockets to life, and their engines roar. Rooster tails shoot thousands of gallons of water as they simultaneously accelerate towards the first turn. This spectator-friendly racing on tight courses made up of right and left-hand hairpin turns with various straightaways provide deck-to-deck racing action front and center for the fans in the viewing area. No 2 laps are the same due to the ever-changing wind and water conditions, making an F1 boat one of the most challenging racing machines to conquer on the planet. The Formula One Powerboat Championship is an 8-race series contested across North America from May to October. Established in 2017, the series features weekend-long community events highlighted by the Formula One boats capable of speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour. Along with support classes of Tri-Hull and Formula Lights, the family-friendly, up-close and personal sponson-banging competition creates thrills rarely experienced by motorsport racing fans. U.S. powerboat racing heritage began in 1903, formation of the national governing body, the American Powerboat Association, that still governs today. Formula One racing for the last 6 decades has been the pinnacle classification in powerboat racing, recognized as one of the world's most spectacular racing vehicles. The F1 boat's lightning-quick acceleration combined with its razor-sharp turns, creating the unique non-stop action on the water. The races are more than a series of one-day events. They have evolved into marquee, multi-interest, weekend-long community festivals. Formula One Powerboat Championship Series produces some of the largest entertainment events in the major markets they visit, attracting tourism dollars to the local economy, while entertaining huge global audience. Large on-site event attendance and coupled with mass media exposure through various channels regionally, nationally, and internationally, our live streaming programs give each event global reach on various social and traditional channels, reaching millions of fans.
All right, race fans. Well, it looks like we have got a distressed and disabled boat that has caused the stoppage here. Obviously, those of you here in Alton, you can see now, those of you wherever you are across the world joining us, we had some fans on the water enjoying the viewing today. And as you can imagine, you got to stay anchored, and having power on this river is important. We were talking earlier, Kay, 10 to 15 mile an hour current moving downstream. If you go to pull up your anchor and you don't have power, you're going to be clipping downstream at a pretty good rate. And thankfully, the water patrol and the emergency safety crews here that patrol the river on a daily basis, we're here lickety-split to help get these 2 boats off the race course. I think there is also possibly some tied up anchors. I don't know. It's quite the mess out there, but they look like they're figuring it out.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you again to all of the police, fire departments across the United States that, keep us safe, whether it be on the water or off the water. The volunteers, or what they do for their we're getting feedback from the people behind us. They're laughing because, look, we got one right here.
Right, yeah. So our producer, Cam, is telling me, he's like, you guys look like VIPs because you have your own personal protection officer. He clearly, you can see me pointing him right there. He turned around and was like, I don't want them to show my face. But now he's just up here getting some cool down in the shade. Can you imagine having to wear all that stuff when it's this hot?
Oh, yeah, I saw the Coast Guard down here, and they've got those jumper suits have got to be hot. But, I just – I guess if you live back here, you're kind of used to this weather. You're used to your weather. I'm used to my 60 to 65 in Washington State. So,
yeah.
But we're getting everybody back out on the course.
Yeah, it looks like we got it all figured out. We've got all of our sheriffs and the different rescue personnel are making their way back up the course. It looks like the boat was able to get back under power because both boats are starting to move northward off the course back to their original position here on the north side of the course, and looks like that's the fire. Looks like that's maybe the fire department potentially. It might be the Coast Guard too. I don't know. I can't tell. Red, white, and blue stripes on the side of that patriotic boat, and that is the OFFPD.
Fire Protection District.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
We
the
learned something new every
888
day.
boat. Yeah, I love how, hey, you know what? They're ready for racing. They got a boat number on there, the 888 boat. There we go.
There you go.
And they're gonna line up at the end of the start pontoon. They're gonna see if they can come from last. They figured worst case scenario, if they can't catch them, they'll just threaten to arrest all of them and then just cruise their way to victory.
Well, I don't know if they keep the lights on. It's going to be like parting the seas because everybody's going to scatter to go the other way. I mean, I think I think we need to come up with like some kind of a challenge. Like we were talking about with Jet Ski Jared floating down the river to see how long it takes for him. Maybe we could have some kind of challenge with, Jet Ski Jared racing around the course with some of our
rescue
with our rescue.
And that's the Orchard Farms, where one of the many these cool. You get all these river communities. They kind of bond together to manage and take care of the river. And I don't know. We've got still this one guy. I thought he was under power. I don't know why he's not moving. Maybe you can see all our drivers got the lids open on the cockpit. Very warm. It's very warm out here. I mean, it would have been brutal if it weren't for thankfully we got some of this nice breeze.
Yeah. Maybe Jet Ski Jared's going to go, latch onto him and push him out of the way. That wouldn't shock me.
That wouldn't, except for I noticed, and I got to find out with operations race director John Schubert why he's missing his push bars.
Yeah, the push bars. I noticed that earlier. I think he had them on Friday, but they might have come off today. I'm not sure if maybe it makes it easier to be able
91 degrees outside right now.
Feels like it's 110.
It feels like 96, but still, it's warm nonetheless. And looks like, there we go. Hey, he finally got it powered. Let's give a big round of applause for our guy getting his boat under power, getting it off the race course. Fantastic. He's finally going to get her moving. Hey, there we go. Burp, burp, bubble, bubble. Get her moving, baby.
Don't jinx it.
Let's get off the race course here. And so we can get underway with Formula Lights qualifying heat number 1. I guess, you know what? I guess we did have a second river open.
Yeah,
the river just wasn't open. It was just the course got disturbed by some overzealous pleasure boaters that were excited. Maybe got some anchors tangled, some motors needed work. He's slowly burping her up the river, but he's going to really have to lay the hammer down. There you go. He finally starts to get going. And see, it just kind of goes and then stops, and it goes and then stops. And
he's got some great mechanics right here in the pits, I'm going to say.
For sure. Yeah, managing director Tim Siebold's about to slap him with a fine. Messing up my event, man. It looks like we've got some other smaller pleasure boats out there trying to understand. We've got that one, looks like Coast Guard boat or Sheriff's Department managing that. There we can see the drivers' cockpits are open. To trying to get air inside those cockpits. I can assure you, there isn't any going in there. It's very hot. I would say inside those cockpits right now, they're probably 110 to 120 degrees. And so sitting there like this, waiting for this guy, and it looks like now they're having to turn around. And we're trying to find out here. We'll see what's going on. All right, so we've got a little bit of more information. It looks like he's trying to get it moved, and he's trying to drag the anchor with him. His anchor winch got stuck or has failed. And, I mean, it's a challenge enough to go upriver on the Mississippi when it's running at this rate. It's a whole other ball of wax with your anchor, dragging your anchor along the bottom. I mean, this is a sand and silt bottomed river. The reason it's the color that it is, I know this because in my neck of the woods, it's silty and sandy. I can remember water skiing on the Mississippi River where it's about as wide as it is here and standing in the middle of the river in 4.5 feet of water.
I don't know. I like a little bit more depth when it comes into that.
You know, I mean, that's what happens in the Mississippi. You get sandbars, the sand moves, and so dragging an anchor, right, it'll really dig into that silt pretty hard. So it looks like, you know, we're trying to find somebody. They're either trying to get it loose or we're going to get a pair of shears, a pair of cutters, and cut that anchor.
Where's Jet Ski
and it
Jared?
looks like they might have just cut it free because he's now moving laterally with much greater speed than he had been. And they might just tell him, hey, head back to where you came from because he doesn't have an anchor now to anchor upriver.
Now, the only thing I hope, though, is that if he does get sent downriver, that he doesn't throw up a huge roller. They don't think, I mean, if you haven't followed boat racing before and you're just still new with boat racing, it doesn't take much for these boats to go end over end, especially when it comes to our Formula Lights. So just a little bit of a roller. As you saw earlier, we put on a little bit of a hold because we wanted the water to calm down just a little bit. These boats will just hop their way across the course, so we're hoping that we can just keep the water level down, keep the rollers down. We do want to thank all of our fans here on the shores and out on the course. Thank you for understanding for this little bit of a delay. We will get racing starting back up here shortly. We got lots more racing this afternoon. And don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back up for another whole day of racing. So make sure you grab your friends and your neighbors, bring them on down here to the shores of the Mississippi River here in Alton, Illinois.
All right, it looks like the 47 of Dominic Trollian pulling off the course. I don't know what's wrong with that Formula Light, that young driver, the 47 of Dominic Trollian, part of Team Racecraft. They're out of Michigan. Their Formula One driver, Jake Alkema, unable to get his boat repaired in time to make it up here. I had a chance to chat with Jake, but that 47 of Dominic Trollian, that S&J Asphalt sponsored entry, pulling off the course here in qualifying heat number 2. I do not know what happened to that young driver, but it looks like his afternoon is done here in qualifying heat number 1. That was weird. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's so young. They were like, hey, the course is getting a little rough, you know, or something. Maybe he had something happen inside the cockpit. You know, I mean, something obviously had to happen for the 47 of Dominic Trollian to pull off the race course like that.
I'm sure there's a few listeners at home that are watching this, that are watching poor Dominic go in. That's going to be his mom and his dad. They're sitting up at Constantine, Michigan at the Outboard Nationals right now, so I'm sure they're bummed to hear about it. We will get a report, and we will report back, but it's unfortunate.
And here we go, 1 minute drivers, 1 minute on the pole. The 12 of Trident Schleicher, after a long delay, can he come out and go wire to wire in heat 1? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will his teammate, the 24 of Shelby Love, in that brand new Hoffman, get the jump here in heat 1? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will it be the 91 of James Klein? Or maybe the 83 of Eric Weinzak? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could it be the 82 of Corey Merrill, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, the 77 of Dan Trozen? Let's see what's going to happen here in qualifying heat number 1. 20 seconds, drivers. You're under starters orders. The flag is up. He drops the flag. Who's going to get a jump? That's a great jump there by the 91 of Klein.
Here comes
and
Mark
the 35 of Schmierbach.
35. I told you I gave that boat some loving before this heat, and I'm hoping it pays off. But on the inside,
yeah, but he's got to go way wide out in lane 5, and he's been penalized that for a lot lately, so he knows he's going to have to hold his lane as they go all the way down to this hard turn at the far end of the course. Schleicher, the 24 of Love spins out down there in turn number 1. Boy, she hooked hard down there to the inside, trying to catch her teammate, the 12 of Trident Schleicher, and he comes out unscathed and takes off down the front straightaway, starting lap 1 of this 6 minutes plus 1 lap. Formula Lights qualifying heat number 1.
Trident Schleicher came back from a pretty big accident this Memorial Day weekend. Rewrapped that boat in red, being followed by the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. Here comes the 91, driven by James Klein.
Oh, he almost spins out down to the inside. Here comes the 77 of Trosen. Catching up now, they go side by side, and we've got a new driver out in second place. Out in third. Oh no, the 12 of Trident Schleicher. He almost spins out coming through turn number 3. But we got a battle going on for that third spot on the podium there between the 77 of Trozen and the 91 of Klein.
Trozen, he's going to lead these guys out across that start-finish line. That's going to be the number 12, brought to you by Clover Construction, followed by Mark Schmierbach. And bringing it up from the back, Dan Tronson out of Trenton, Washington, in that gold 77, followed by the 91. James Klein, the 82, out of Highland, Michigan, Aaron Wyzak, and the 66. Got a little bit of a late start off of the dock. That's going to be Randy Parch.
Yeah, but he was able to stay on the lead lap. I don't know if he's still hanging on there. No, he's not. He's still on the lead lap. He's followed back into that 5th position. Shelby Love is going to have to be grabbed by our rescue crew. She has been grabbed by the rescue crew as she almost stuffed it down there, spinning out down in the opening lap. Down there at the far end of the course. Now look, the 77 of Trozen coming up on the 35 of Schmierbach. It's Pew versus Pew Formula Light Hall. The Pizza Inn machine versus the DeBoer backhauling number 77 of Daniel Trozen as they go side by side down to the north end of the course. Trozen is just absolutely wheeling the 35 of Schmierbach wide to the outside. He must have a big wheel on there because he is eating up the water here on the Mississippi.
If you watch on this overhead view, you can see he's getting real squirrely going down that backstretch. Leaves just a little bit of a lane for Mark Schmierbach in the 35. Mark Schmierbach dropping down into 3rd, but keep an eye on the 91 of James Klein because he's coming in quick. But our leader, if you look, he's got one broken, they are a breakaway pickle fork on the front. Not sure what he hit, but the 12 unfortunately damaged, but still your leader, followed by the 77 of Dan Tronson, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, the 91 of James Klein, 82 of Eric Weinzak, 66, Randy Parch. Look at the lead that he has now gained.
Yeah, the 35 of Schmierbach, I don't know what's been going on in 2024, but he just does not have his top stuff. The 12 of Trident Schleicher, I mean, he is on a mission. This young driver is trying to be the 2024 Formula Lights champion. He has been working hard all season long, had an absolute horrific wreck, and somehow was able to repair the boat and end up on the podium in Formula Lights back at round 2 in Shreveport, Louisiana. And right now, Trident Schleicher just 2 points out of first place. But here's the thing, the 2 of Travis Thompson had a family emergency on Tuesday afternoon. He had to pull out of the race here this weekend. 3 days before it started, Trident Schleicher gets here, finds out, hey, the only guy in front of you in the season point standings can't be here today. So clearly extra motivation, and that young driver in that love-built Formula Light, look at him bouncing all over coming out of turn number 1, is the 12 of Trident Schleicher.
Got a great race for 3rd and 4th. On the inside is going to be Mark Schmierbach. On the outside, the 91 of James Klein. James Klein unfortunately had to make his way through the field, bellied up on the side of Schmierbach. Schmierbach's got the inside lane, shortest way around the course as they get super close coming out of turn number 4 across the start-finish line. Schmierbach sitting in 3rd, 91, James Klein.
Yeah, and that Crane Technologies sponsored Revolution built for light. Oh, look out there, the 35 of Schmierbach gets up on the deck of the 91 of Klein. He pulls to the inside. Oh no, what has happened to the 35 of Mark Schmierbach? I don't know. I did not see what happened down there in the corner, but the right sponson got up on the deck of the 91 of Klein. Now, if Klein's got any damage underneath the water line, he's going to have to keep that thing flying at full speed because that thing's going to take on water real quick.
We've seen that before. I've seen a few drivers who unfortunately got holes in the side of their boat that kept going around the course. They're like, if I keep going, I'm not going to sink. But you know what? He's not going to let those valuable points go away because he's sitting right now. That's your 91 in 3rd place. We're going to have to see as he comes back. It looks like Schmierbach is pulling off of the course, might have some boat damage.
Yeah, it looks like he's really slow out there, and he's going way wide to the outside. And same with the 82 of Corey Merrill. He pulls off down at turn number 4. I don't know what happened to him. He's now making his way back to the river, back to the start pontoon. He might have hit something and taken on some damage. The river threw his way, and he's making his way back down into the boat ramp to get that boat on the trailer. But it is all Trident Schleicher right now as the 77 of Dan Trosen sits in 2nd, and now the 91 of James Klein in 3rd. In 4th position, the 66 of Randy Parch. The river is absolutely decimated. Our Formula Lights class here in heat number 1, we saw the 82, he pulled off. The 83 of Weinzak, I don't know, did he even start? I didn't even see him out here in qualifying heat number 1. The 47 of Dominic Trollian pulled in. The 35 of Mark Schmierbach had to pull off the course. It is brutal out here for these Formula Lights in their opening qualifying heat.
White flag on the course, 1 lap to go for our leader, the number 12, brought to you by Clover Construction out of California. Unfortunately, had some issues at Memorial Day weekend. Looks like he might have some more boat damage. I mean, can that kid keep this thing straight?
You know, he tends to be hard on equipment, but he's fast at the same time, so I think they let it slide. Here comes the 12 of Trident Schleicher, that breakaway pickle fork barely hanging on for dear life as he goes down the backside of the course, down into turn number 3. Getting real rough down there in turn 3 here on this Formula Lights course as he keeps working his way down to the far end of the course, down the far south end of the river. Down through tier number 4. Ooh, watch out, he hops it there. Coming off of turn number 4, goes way wide to the outside. And ladies and gentlemen, doing like he did in round 2, taking the opening heat, qualifying heat here in Formula Lights, number 12, Trident Schleicher. And we got a battle for second and third here as the 91 of James Klein and the 77 of Daniel Trozen are doing battle down to the far end and south end of the course. They go down through turn number 4 and hanging on by a nose in that number 77, Demore's Lawn Care, Daniel Trozen, and rounding out the top 3 in that Crane Technologies, the number 91 of James Klein. Well, it took us a lot longer to get there, but don't go far, because up next here in about 10 minutes, we're going to have the Texas Tri-Hulls out on the water as they do battle for their second of 4 qualifying heats. And then we've got the Formula Ones back out on the water. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more racing action and an interview with our Formula Lights qualifying Heat 1 winner, the number 12 of Trident Schleicher. And while we wait for my partner in crime, K-Dub, get down there to talk to our winner of qualifying heat number 1, let's take a look at that get together between the 91 of Klein and the 35 of Schmierbach. Schmierbach goes down into 1. Oh, Klein just hooked. I don't think that was intentional. The 91 of James Klein tried to set it off his outside hip, and that boat just hammered into the inside. The hope is that the 35 of Mark Schmierbach does not have any damage. I don't know if that's to be the case. Normally, if you don't have damage, you're not going to pull off, but you got a quick minute. Go grab some food, get an ice cold Bud Light, Mick Ultra, Michelob. We've got all sorts of great Anheuser-Busch products here and ready to rock and roll for you. We are going to be underway here with Texas Tri-Hull's second qualifying heat. And one thing we do in Tri-Hull, like we do in all of our classes, it's called flipping the script, right? So worst goes to first goes to worst, and that makes things very interesting on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. All right, it looks like they're making their way down there. You see some of the event patrol dropping off debris. Looks like our friend is finally floating through the course that's had motor and or anchor issues all afternoon long. So he's finally going to clear himself out of the way. Hopefully we don't have to deal with him tomorrow. Don't forget, doors at 5. Music begins at 6. It's the revival of the Mississippi Music Festival, headlining Grammy Award-winning Larkin Poe. But kicking things off, fastball with special guest Feel. And we're going to turn things down to my partner, K-Dub, who's got the winner, the 12 of Trident Schleicher.
Trident, great job out there. You are obviously hot. We did have to take a little bit of a break because unfortunately sitting in that boat so long during that little delay got a little warm, but you know, you've cooled down a little bit. They gave you a little bit of an early bath. How is it feeling out there with another win under your belt?
It feels good to win. You definitely can't do it with all the people that we have down here. It definitely takes a big team to do it. So, I mean, all the people right here, everybody up by the trailer, down by the dock. This race takes a lot of people.
You make it a little bit more difficult. You pretty much destroyed your boat a couple weeks ago. Now you're already coming in here with a broken pickle fork. What happened?
Yeah, the current down in that turn there is just, it's a lot harder than you'd think it is. If you come into it too hot, it's violent, so.
Well, you handled it well. You had a great lead over the rest of the fleet. You got a great team here. What do you want to say to your team?
There's not much you can say other than thank you. I mean, they put in a lot of work. It's hot out here. I mean, like I said, you can't really do it without them, so.
All right, congratulations once again. Another victory and another checkered flag for you. Back to you, Thomas.
All right, thanks, Kay. As you can see out on the water now, wasting no time as the class we like to affectionately call bumper boats at 65 miles an hour. It's the Texas Tri-Hull class out for their second of two qualifying heats today. So second of three. Nope, that's of two. So 2 today, 2 tomorrow for Tri-Hull. So this is the last time you're going to see the Tri-Hulls on the water here on Saturday's racing here at the inaugural Midwest Nationals, beautiful downtown Alton, Illinois. As we get them ready to go, they're checking their starting position. So I talked about flipping the script. That's my phrase for how we run qualifying here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. If you got first, Neil Marsh, you're now last. If you got second, you're now second to last, Grant Schubert, right? And so as you accumulate points through the 4 qualifying heats, if you have lots of points, you stay to the back and you have to race your way through the field to be able to collect points. The person with the most points at the end of the 4 qualifying heats, they are our pole sitter. Remember, we go 2 by 2 here in the Texas Tri-Hull class. So we've got an inside and an outside of rows 1 through 6. We've got 13 drivers here in the Texas Tri-Hull division. But as they check their lane assignments and we get ready to roll, let's take a quick moment to thank our sponsors here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. First and foremost, Mercury Racing. Mercury Racing, the commitment to wide open. Mercury Racing is proud to introduce the APX, an Apex motor and Apex platform of 4-stroke engines. The 250 APX 4.6 liter V8 competition outboard for the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series adds torque and acceleration to take race teams to the next level. Let's welcome the Mercury Racing 250 APX to the family of racing engines here at Mercury Racing. Simmons Law Firm, Simmons Conroy, local law firm here, taking care of anybody who's had to deal with mesothelioma from asbestos. Simmons Hanley Conroy, a veteran-owned law firm with over 20 years of experience, working hard to get victims the compensation they need. If you need help, reach out at simmonsfirm.com. Great Rivers and Roads, what a fantastic group they are. Great Rivers and Roads Convention Visitor Tourism Bureau is proud to partner with the City of Alton and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat racing back to the Mississippi River for the first time in almost 2 decades here in Illinois. For visitor information, check out their website at riversandroutes.com. Hey, the host of the Mississippi River Festival tonight, the Alton Amphitheater. The Alton Amphitheater, a 4,000-seat outdoor venue in beautiful downtown Alton, and host of the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals and Mississippi River Festival with Grammy Award-winning artist Larkin Poe right here in beautiful downtown Alton. Metro East Mega Storage. Metro East Mega Storage is the starting lineup sponsor of all of our classes here at the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals. Metro East Mega Storage at 3 convenient locations in Edwardsville and Wood River, Illinois. They've got 24/7 security. They've got temperature-controlled facilities. They can take your Class A RV with 110 power, a 10-volt power for all your Class A RV storage. What a great place, Metro East Mega Storage. Of course, our folks at Seaway Marine here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Seaway Marine, your one-stop boat motor shop. Your number 1 Johnson and Evinrude parts distributor. They carry new old stock for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, Gale, Mercury, Force, and Chrysler outboards, OMC Mercruiser and Volvo stern drives, and engine parts for Chris Crafts. Find them at seawaymarine.com. Like I said, your one-stop boat motor shop. Seaway Marine. The city of Alton, Illinois. How fantastic the city of Alton has been to bring us here in 2024 and hopefully for many years to come. Alton nestled along the banks of the majestic banks of America's greatest river, 25 miles north of the St. Louis Metro. The city of Alton, the place you've always wanted to be. Alton Parks and Recs Department, responsible for 16 city parks. 1,400 acres of park space, 12 baseball fields, 19 soccer fields, 24 tennis courts, 19 playgrounds. Alton Parks and Recreation, enriching the lives of each citizen through quality parks and programs. And finally, your Greater Alton Toyota dealers. Toyota's got more all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles than any other brand. So get behind the wheel today and take adventure to the top. Visit your local Alton Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. All right, Kay, you're back from your nice. The reason I do these, so you can do the interviews, you don't get your runs in like you do back home. So I figured, hey, we'll get you running between the judges' stand and the start dock. You get your workout in. Everybody's happy.
You know how much I have to run once to twice a day. Got to work out a lot. I'm definitely, because not only am I like it's like going through the crowd. That's the other thing, is I gotta I guess slaughter through the crowd. Then I gotta go down the ramp, down the stairs, catch the driver, hose him down, give him a microphone, back up here to you. I got this down. Let's do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fun to watch. You come sprinting back up here. I'm just like, man, I'm glad that's not me. But let's take a look at our starting grid here, presented by Metro East Mega Storage here in qualifying heat number 2. Again, flip the script, worst to first, first to worst. On the inside of row 1, the young rookie out of Richmond, Texas, the 13 of Jack Schubert. He's on the outside. On the inside of row 1, it's the 88 of Josh Wells. On the inside of row 2 is the 33 of John Ottinger. The outside of row 2, the number 5 of Ruben Stafford. Inside of row 3, that's the 56 of Clint Dillard. The outside of row 3, the 52 of Tanner Rinker. Inside of row 4, the 26 of Preston Sherman. Outside of row 4, the number 1 of Corey Walker. Inside of row 5, the 37 of Mason Rinker. Outside of row 5, the 69 of Cole Mullet-Wearing. And then it's the the 17 of Neil Marsh, the 6 of Grant Schubert, and the rookie of DD1 of Andy Miller has actually dropped to the outside of row 7.
We talked to Neil Marsh after that last win, and I said, hey, got to flip this up, and he goes, challenge on. So here's your challenge, Neil Marsh. You got a lot of votes to get through.
He does, but he's shown that he is an absolute master in navigating his way through traffic. He really understands how to race a tri-hull. You can go, balls to the wall, go flying into the corner and just yank it left as hard as you can, and sometimes you're going to get out of there okay. Other times, you're going to have a gear cut case a foot from your head. You're going to have the bottom of somebody else's boat on the top of yours, and it makes it real difficult. He's really good about navigating the corners, which is truly the championship pedigree you need in tri-hull.
Grant Schubert's another one to keep an eye on for that. We're going to bring him down to the start. Bring him down into that clumped up first turn there, Thomas.
And he drops a green flag. We're underway with qualifying heat number 2. The 88 of Josh Wells, that brand new sponsor here after round 2. Brando, the Thirst Mutilator. It is what boats crave. He's out in front, then the 13. Oh no, Jack Schubert gets all turned around, hoses down the 56 of Dillard, and here comes the 52 of Tanner Rinker, squirting out into second place, and the 56 of Clint Dillard runs him 3 wide with the 33 of Ottinger and the 13 of Schubert on his outside as they fight for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Keep an eye on that Rinker. He's slowly but surely making his way around the course in that 37 as they get bundled up going into turn 2. Grant Schubert trying to get around the 69 of Corey. They went nose to nose a minute ago, but our leader now out in some quote-unquote fresh water is going to be the 88 of Josh Wells.
Yeah, and if you look at him there, wadding him up, notice the 17 of Neil Marsh, he's in 5th. The 6 of Grant Schubert, he's in 10th. That's a big difference. That's the skill that the 17 of Neil Marsh possesses. He's now up into 4th position. Now we've got a battle going on for first between the 52 of Tanner Rinker and the 88 of Josh Wells. There's the 37 of Mason Rinker. He's already behind the 17 of Neil Marsh. Nobody has an answer for the man out of Hemlock, Michigan.
It looks to me like if you keep an eye on the 37, watch, he stays out of trouble on the outside along with Neil Marsh as they make their way down into turn 1. But the leader right now is the 88 of Josh Wells, but he's got a lot of boats coming up on his outside. But he just took off from turn 1.
And here we go, check out this battle now as they go almost 3 wide. In the middle, it's the 56 of Clint Dillard. On the inside, it's the 52 of Tanner Rinker. And now the 17 of Neil Marsh looks to stick his nose in there. Can he make the move? Oh, he absolutely can make the move. What a jump. He goes 2 places in 1 corner. The turning ability of the 17 of Neil Marsh is the best in the country, hands down.
Josh Wells was hoping that wasn't going to happen. He was hoping that Neil Marsh was going to be stuck behind the battle that was going on for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now, Josh Wells has got his game on. He's got Neil Marsh coming quick on his outside. 3 wide once again. On the inside is going to be Rinker. On the outside is...
It's Rinker.
Yeah.
And then there in the middle is the 56 of Dillard. But this is going to be a game of cat and mouse, and here we go. Watch, this is exactly what the 17 of Marsh was looking for as he goes wide to the outside. 37 of Mason Rinker spins out, but the 17 of Neil Marsh is going to drag race the 88 of Josh Wells in that Brondo, the Thirst Mutilator sponsored entry, and he is going to cruise back in. You know, he's got a fantastic new sponsor here in for the third round of the 2024. Raja, his good friend's daughter, they're part of the autism awareness movement. He's got his beautiful puzzle piece, autism awareness, you'll see on the bottom of it. But now we got that battle going on, and here comes the 6 of Schubert, probably a little too late. There you see the 1 of Corey Walker. The 52 of Tanner Rinker just keeps falling back. He just does not have a whole lot of speed. The 6 of Grant Schubert is starting to make up some ground as he's all the way up into third position. But I don't know if he's going to be able to catch a 17 of Neil Marsh. But man, those two of 17 and 6 seem to be in a class of their own.
Neil Marsh is trying to get around Ottinger, which slowed him down just a little bit. The rest of the fleet started to catch back up, but now the Neil Marsh is able to get around the 33 of Ottinger. But look at Grant Schubert. He's doing everything he can because we're getting down to the final couple laps. Grant Schubert going to duck on the inside as they start to mash up going into turn number 2. But your leader comes across the start finish line to see the white flag, number 17 of Neil Marsh.
And look at here, moving up into second position out of that corner, the other cornering specialist in Texas Tri-Hall. This the number 6 of Grant Schubert now finds himself in second. They went 1-2 in Heat 1. It looks like they're going to go 1-2 in Heat 2.
You know, but they had to work for that, and they're still working for that. I mean, is there a local chiropractor in the house? I think these guys need it.
Correct.
White flag will jump, checkered flag will come out once again for Neil Marsh of the 17.
The dude out of Hemlock, Michigan captures another checkered flag, followed by the 6 of Grant Schubert and the 56 of Clint Dillard. Then the 37 of Mason Rinker, the 88 of Josh Wells, the 1 of Corey Walker, the 52 of Tanner Rinker, the 69 of Cole Mullen-Waring, the 26 of Briston Sherman, the 33 of John Ottinger, the 5 of Ruben Stafford, the 13 of Jack Schubert, and then the 33 of John Ottinger. Boy, it was rough out there and absolutely brutal, and it looks like it's so rough that maybe the 17 of Neil Marsh has decided to head back to the pits.
No, he's going to come see me. Look at him, he's just circling around.
There we go,
So
fair
for
enough.
you fans that are up here on the seawall, Neil Marsh, your winner of this last heat. Give him a big old wave and a hoot and holler.
All right, she's going to make her way down there. We get those great overhead views from our cameras. Let's take a look at our final standings here in qualifying heat number 2 for the Texas Tri-Hall. Going back-to-back, winning his second of 2 qualifying heats, the number 17 of Neil Marsh. Then it's the 6 of Grant Schubert, followed by the 56 of Clint Dillard. In 4th, the 37 of Mason Rinker. Then the 5th, the 88 of Josh Wells. In 6th, the 1 of Corey Walker. In 7th, the 69 of Cole Waring. 8th, the 26 of Briston Sherman. In 9th, number 5 of Ruben Stafford. In 10th, the 13 of Jack Schubert. In 11th, the 52 of Tanner Rinker. In 12th, the 33 of John Ottinger, who had some engine problems and definitely under engine distress, was the man who finished 13th, your rookie, the DD1 of Andy Miller, the Wichita, Kansas native, also makes his home in Disney, Oklahoma. Great guy, loves to race anything, everything, but clearly the DD1 machine was under some distress from the engine side of things there in qualifying heat number 2. Up next, we're going to have the Formula Ones back out on the water to run their second of 2 qualifying heats today, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Formula Ones. They're already, most of them are on the water. They're getting loaded in and ready to rock and roll. And we're going to bring them back out here for their second of 2 qualifying heats here. It's windy, it's choppy. The mighty Mississippi is rearing its fangs here on this Saturday qualifying afternoon here at the inaugural Alton Midwest Nationals. Don't forget, check out all the food vendors we got down here. Check out our Formula One Powerboat Championship merch tent. We've got all sorts of hats. I've been told we've ran out of 3 styles of hats already. We've got Alton Midwest National shirts. We've got some fantastic stuff going on. Take a look at this pass here for our folks who are joining us from across the world. Look at this. The 17 of Neil Marsh is just absolutely coming in hot. He knew that he was going to have to leave Mullane, and he knew the 88 of Josh Wells. Oh, look at the 37 of Mason Rinker just slam into the 33 of John Ottinger. But that's what Neil Marsh does. He comes on the outside hip, and then when you move out, he dives into that inside lane, and he is so good at turning his tri-hull that he just beats you down to the inside. Now he's going short way around the course, and before you know it, it's over. All right, we've got Kay down there with our two-time winner here at the Alton Midwest Nationals and qualifying in Texas Tri-Hull. Take it away, Kay.
Well, Thomas, we were down here listening to you talk about how great of a job he did out there on the course. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the helmet back. His head is exploding with how much you're complimenting him on that. But, Neil Marsh, it's taken a lot of family and friends to be able to get you to this point. You got a lot of people to thank.
Yeah, that was a great heat race, probably one of my best. I got to give a shout out to Hemlock, the Farmer's Home Tavern. They got a big watch party. We got a new sponsor from them guys this half of the season, and we really want to thank them and everybody that's watching us from Hemlock, baby, including Maple Grill. We got Grandpa's Garden. We got Groat Law. We got River Song.
Well,
yeah, I'm kind of tired here, but here she come. We got all kinds of stuff.
Well, you know, you got a really great undercarriage to this. Do you want to explain us the story? I mean, I just noticed this weekend. Tell us what's going on with that.
Oh, I got a really good buddy of mine that he's been supporting us since the second I met the guy. He just keeps throwing me another $100 here and there, and then he said, hey, man, let's do something special. And he's got a daughter with autism. He said it'd be really cool to put the puzzle piece, the autism awareness puzzle pieces on there. So, hey, man, I said, we got it, dude. I'm going to take care of you. And I got a hold of Rye's sticker shop in Bay City, and she turned loose on it. I always wanted to have a flag on the front, on the bow, and it took a good spot. We were going to put American flag, but this is a lot nicer. So, Raja, that's for you. Roger, Annette, we love you guys, and thank you for helping us so much.
Well, you put it on a great spot because we did see a lot of the front end of that as you were hopping through the rest of that race. Congratulations, yet again, another checkered flag. You had to work from the back of the pack to get it, but you earned it. Neil Marsh of the 17.
Love you guys. Love you, Ellie, Trevor, Mom, Zammy, all of my sisters, everybody at home. Thank you so much.
Back to you, Thomas.
Hey, thanks, Kay. The ever affable Neil Marsh, the dude, as they call him, coming straight out of Hemlock, Michigan. I know those folks in Hemlock appreciate that a bit. He's got a big crew that supports him. We got a big crew here partying with us here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. Look at all the boats lined up. There's like a wall of boats all along the backside of the course. It can't be easy out there with this wind anchoring your boat, but we got a lot of people hanging out, having a great time with us all day long here today, and we wouldn't be here without our sponsors. We'll be right back with a word from those sponsors here at the 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals.
Mercury Racing was forged in the heat of competition. The will to win is in our DNA. Competition isn't just what we do, it's our proving ground. It's about the pursuit of power, performance, and endurance that pushes our limits and yours. We create premium marine power to take you faster and farther. The world offers limits. Mercury Racing offers freedom. Live wide open.
Formula One powerboats are sleek, glamorous, lightweight, and extremely maneuverable, with a power-to-weight ratio among the highest in all of motorsports. Their performance speaks for itself. Acceleration from 0 to 100 miles an hour in under 5 seconds. Top speeds in excess of 120. Cornering at 100 miles an hour, all while pulling 7 Gs in the process. The competition begins with a field of 20 boats lined up in the start pontoon. Engine silent, awaiting the modified Le Mans start. When the green flag drops, these world-class drivers ignite their rockets to life. Engines roaring and rooster tails flying, they simultaneously accelerate towards the first turn. With tight courses close to the shoreline, made up of right and left-hand turns that offer deck-to-deck, heart-pounding action and guarantee fans up close and front and center views, no 2 laps are the same due to the ever-changing wind and water conditions, making the F1 boat one of the most challenging racing machines to conquer on the planet. Founded in 2017, the Formula One Powerboat Championship is an 8-race series contested across North America, featuring weekend-long community events highlighted by the Formula One boats and supporting classes. U.S. Powerboat Racing's 120-year heritage began with the formation of its governing body, the American Powerboat Association. For the last 6 decades, Formula One powerboats have been the pinnacle classification in powerboat racing. Recognized as one of the world's most spectacular racing vehicles, these events have evolved into more than a series of one-day races, developing into marquee, multi-interest, weekend-long community festivals, producing some of the largest entertainment events in major markets, attracting tourism dollars, benefiting the local economies, while delighting the global audience. Large on-site event attendance is coupled with mass media exposure through various channels, regionally, nationally, and globally. Our live streaming programs give each event international reach on various social and traditional channels, reaching millions of fans. Our marketing partners enjoy outstanding return on investment with our unique sport and custom flexible approach of the Formula One Powerboat Championship.
All right, and some of our other fantastic sponsors here locally, Max Downtown Home. Grab a bet, grab a drink, and a meal all at the same time. Max with a cold beer, good food, a beer garden, 75 TVs, on-track betting parlor, video poker. Make Max Downtown Home a great place for your next great time. Simmons Hanley Conroy, with over 90 attorneys and 175 employees nationwide, their firm has the resources necessary to handle high-stakes litigation and securing life-changing amounts of compensation for their clients. Find one of their talented attorneys to help you with your fight at simmonsfirm.com. The City of Alton, nestled right along the banks of the Mississippi River, a fantastic sponsor and the host of the 2024 Midwest Nationals here. We can't thank enough the great city of Alton, Illinois, a great place to call home. Great Rivers and Routes Convention Tourism Bureau, a proud partner with the City of Alton and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat Racing back to the Mississippi River here in Illinois. Check them out at riversandroutes.com. Enjoy your time here in Alton. JH Performance Boats, they're custom, handcrafted, shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. Seabold Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Enjoy Illinois, full of state parks and forests and caves for exploring, lakes and rivers for floating, and summits for climbing, and views for appreciating the outdoors or waiting in the middle of everything. Enjoy Illinois. Argosy Casino on the sportsbook here at the 2024 Midwest Nationals at the Argosy Casino is who will take first, second, and third. So check out your Formula One Powerboat Championship betting at the Argosy Sportsbook. Don't forget, new members to their rewards program get $20 in free slot play, $2 domestic long necks, and all-you-can-eat buffet all weekend long at Argosy Casino and Racing Communications. Their radios for racing. All right, we're getting the course reset after some damage done by the Texas Tri-Hulls. Our Formula Ones are coming back out on the water.
Don't forget, we also do have t-shirts for sale down on Vendor Alley, the 2024 Mississippi Riverfest. Make sure you grab one of those, bring it on to the pits, get your favorite driver to sign it. You may have the winning driver's signature on your 2024 F1 Powerboat Champion shirt. Make sure you like us on F1 Powerboat Racing on your local Facebook. Make sure you take all your pictures, show them across the United States that you are here in Alton, Illinois for the Midwest Nationals.
All right, Kate, well, let's talk about qualifying heat number 2 here in the Formula One class. Just like we did at Tri-Hull, just like we're going to do in Formula Lights. If you got first, Andrew Tate, now you go to the end.
Uh-oh.
Now, his field may not be as long as I would venture to guess the 98 of Aiden Benton is probably done at least for the day.
He is out for the weekend. I did go into the pits and did see the boat. The left sponson is completely gone. No way to repair that by at least tomorrow.
For sure.
He will probably be back on the road. I'm sure he'll stick around for the weekend because we're all boat racers.
Yeah,
we want to watch the
absolutely.
rest.
It's just it's so frustrating when you're a rookie and you come out and you're, he was really looking to test his mettle. How do I stack up? And he raced against a couple of our drivers back at another event in February in Bradenton, Florida, a one-day event put on by Sam and Sharon Weiner. Great folks. Great event. And he's, you know, and he ran well. It was a solid run in Florida, and he knew, right, the top drivers in America, they're here. I want to see how I do. And he was running fairly well, and it's sad that, you know, a barrel roll in a corner takes out the rest of his weekend. Now, obviously, he's new, so he did the smart thing, got a little bit of an older boat, right? Didn't go buy a brand new boat right away, which some do, and end up destroying quite quickly.
We won't talk about that boat over there.
Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, he's going to have a choice to make, right? Does he repair the lee and come back?
Yeah.
Or does he now look to say, all right, I got my feet wet, I got some time underneath. He got a really good deal on that boat from Mike Maskell out on the west coast from British Columbia, out Canada. Hopefully Maskell and Nast and those guys. Oh, there he is. He's come on up here. We're going to have a chance to chat with him.
I'm going to hand this over. Oh, no. Yeah, you can touch that. Okay, you got to look in the camera so that everybody can see.
That's okay there. Hey, joining us now here is the number 98, Aiden Benton. Aiden, not the way you probably wanted your weekend to start, let alone finish.
You know what? We were fighting gremlins all weekend. We blew up an engine on Sunday. We came down here. We put an engine together on Friday. We put our boat together. We've been trying to test it all day. We finally got out for that final heat. We missed qualifying. The boat was running awesome. No complaints there. I mean, stuff happens when you're racing, and came into the corner, and Andrew was already there, I guess, and he decided to go over me, and my boat's gone now, so got to find a big dumpster and put that in it.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. I know that it's a little bit of an older boat, but a good learning boat you got from a great guy, Mike Maskell. You know, that Lee's probably seen 1,000 or more laps of competition, but so maybe it lightens the pain a little bit, but it's still got to be frustrating. I know you were excited in Bradenton earlier this year, and this was really your first chance to test your mettle against some of the top drivers, and you really never even got to have a chance.
You know what? Thank God to Mike Maskell. He gave me that boat. He's the first person to call me. I told him, I'm going to be down on the West Coast the next month or two. Get me another one. Put it back together and then come back out.
Right on, man. Well, hey, we love to see that attitude, because it can be very demoralizing, especially when you start out. But, you know, a lot of boat racers will tell you it's not a matter of if you crash, it's when you crash. And the fact that you are leaving with just a little scratch on your face, and other than that, you're upright, you're happy, you're healthy, it's a good day because you can go racing again once you get another boat put together.
Yeah, looks like we saved the engine, you know, boat's not safe, but we'll get out there, we'll build another boat, you know, probably not this season, but we'll get something put together and come back out next year and see what we can do.
Right on. Well, hey, man, we'll let you get back to enjoying the pits. Tough bit of work for you today here with that 98 machine, but hopefully we'll see you back on the water soon.
Thanks, bud. Nice talking with you.
All right, that was the 98
sure.
of Aiden Benton. You know, you can tell we appreciate him coming up here, because that's not an easy conversation, right? I mean, if that's me, it's like, well, bleepity, bleepity, bleep, bleep, to bleep, 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 right? That's how that conversation would have gone if you would have put me in Aiden Benton's shoes. The fact that he can come up here and share some of that insight and share what was going on in his head with all of our fans is really appreciative, right? By somebody like me and you as well. We love being able to give fans an understanding, and I just commend the young man for not being an absolute jerk because of what happened to him. You know, Andrew Tate was there. He was trying to come around. He set it in the corner. He just snapped. He went over. It happens. But again, the boat is damaged. The human is dinged.
Well, and I liked how
okay.
I liked how he was a typical gearhead. My motor's fine. Now I just got to do a little bit of repair work to the boat, maybe get a new boat. But yeah, you know, he's got a couple boat builders right here in the States he can give a phone call to.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know if he. So, you know, to get a recap, I apologize. We have 3 headsets, and Aiden had the scratch on his face from the wreck earlier today. It started to leak a little bit, so we didn't want to get blood all over the headsets. So we brought in a third mic, and the connection wasn't that great. So those of you who aren't here in Alton, and you have a chance to kind of recap, we had the 98 of Aiden Benton. His weekend is done. He barrel rolled in Heat 1. You know, his year is done. He's frustrated about that, because I know he was hoping to go to New Martinsville, West Virginia at the end of the year. He tries, you know, early on he's trying to stick to those races that are a bit closer. He lives in like northeast Ontario, right on the Quebec border.
I think it was 14 hours is what he said
just
to drive
to get here, right? I mean, imagine going to Shreveport or Lake Havasu City or Port Neches. You're looking at 28, 30 plus hours. So he's just trying to get his feet wet. We hopefully see him back again in 2025. He doesn't seem like a kid who's going to give up on anything easily. So the Maskals have a whole stable out there in your neck of the woods. They just picked up another one as they picked up the Moore Formula One from Rusty Wyatt Racing.
Yep.
So they've got a Baba, they've got a Moore, 2 Kniffs, and 3 Seabolds. I think between.
I think there's might be one that he can let loose to this kid and keep him out on the water.
Right. For sure.
And NAS, they're adding to their fleet too because they just got a composite craft up there. So they got like their own fleet up there in Canada.
They really do. We're hoping to see that whole crew of guys. If you're all watching. We hope those guys make their way to our race out in Colorado in September, the last race of the season. It's still quite a haul from British Columbia, essentially driving from the northwest Canadian-U.S. border all the way to Denver. It's probably a good day and a half trip. We really hope they make it. I'd love to see them come down 4 or 5 deep. And you know what? Maybe we get them to drag all the 45s from the Pacific Northwest.
Ooh, we got a few, yes.
Correct. So that's what I'm going to task you with on your as you go home to the Pacific Northwest. We need to discuss how we can drag like 10 boats from the Pacific Northwest down to Colorado, because our tunnel boat contingency, they're kind of isolated up there, right? I mean, even to run in California, it's 10 hours. And that they don't even cross the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
To come to some of the other races, it's a tall order just for the sheer amount of windshield time. So hopefully we see all you guys from the Pacific Northwest in our final round of the year, which is going to be the Roar of the Rockies in Windsor, Colorado. You can find our entire schedule and everything Formula One Powerboat Championship racing on our website at f1powerboatchampionship.com. Find us on our social media platforms on Facebook at F1 Powerboat Racing, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at F1 Powerboat Championship. We have our live stream going on the YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe to that. Make sure when you find our Facebook page, smash that like button. We're going to be giving you all the live racing play-by-play action all weekend long. We wrap things up here. We got 2 more heats, 1 Formula One, 1 Formula Light heat, and then it's concert time as the revival of the Mississippi River Music Festival with Grammy Award winners headlining by Larkin Poe are going to be jamming the doors off of the Alton Amphitheater. I'm looking forward to it. Day of racing, night of music. Man, sounds like the perfect Saturday to me. I'm a music nut. I love powerboat racing.
I like dancing.
And I've got both of them in the same day. This is fantastic.
Great weather, great crowd. You're out here with your boat racing friends. And I can hear it. Oh, we just let go. Mr. Chris Rinker, light that thing back up. It was such a beautiful sound as it went across. I mean, how about Dustin Terry over there in the number 3? How about you rip roar a little bit? Give our crowd some show. Show off that brand new APX motor. It's a brand new motor brought to you by Mercury. We've gone hand in hand with Mercury to bring out these big V8s showing horsepower and speeds of over 110 miles per hour as they dance across the water here. The course is only just shy of a mile, but these drivers will make their way around the course in just over 30 seconds. We had a great experience yesterday morning. We had the ride with Mr. Tim Seabold. I mean, if you get a ride with him in the 2-seater, that's an experience and a ride of a lifetime. The 2-seater is located right outside of the VIP pits. If you want to possibly, when we come back next year, because I know I'm planning on going back next year.
For sure.
If you want to get a ride with the one, the only, Tim Seabold in the 2-seater, make sure you reach out to us, find out how you can get involved in that. We talked about that earlier. One of our riders yesterday wanted in a radio station.
That's so cool.
And then another one they wanted, it was a drawing at their works. I mean, there's lots of ways that companies can get involved, radio stations, TV stations, to be able to get involved to put their fans and their employees
absolutely
inside of the 2-seater. An experience of a lifetime in the 2-seater with Mr. Tim Seabold.
All right, looks like we've got almost everybody out here on the water. 6, 7. Well, let's wait for a couple more. Looks like we're missing the brothers Love. Sean and Spencer, the 12 and 24, are still waiting to get them on the water. And then let's see here. Who else are we missing here? If we get underway, I'm taking a look at our starting grid from Heat 1.
Jared Jensen looks to be still in the pits. Unfortunately, the number 29.
Oh, man, that weekend
gremlins.
is just continues. They probably had it had to have been such a big rebuild. They knew that today was just a total scrap, and they're just going to try to get out, see if they can't collect some big points in the final. Obviously, the finals, a much higher quantity point value. If you want to find out all the rules, how we do things, we've got these great fan guides here at the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. You can pick them up at our merch tent. We got all sorts of cool swag, hats, t-shirts, muscle shirts. We might have some hoodies. I don't know how much good a hoodie's going to do you this weekend, but these fan guides are fantastic. It's got all the information, a ton more details on our drivers, but it's also got how we do things, talking about the different classes, the support classes, how we run our timing, how we do our qualifying, our awards, the points that each driver get for the final, for the heat. I mean, the final is 3 times the amount of points as any of the qualifying heats. So if you're going to sacrifice, as hard as it is to make up ground in the final, sometimes these guys will look to sacrifice a qualifying heat knowing it's less points that they're giving up, much like the 52 of Chris Rinker did last round when he skipped out on qualifying heat number 2. Well, because he had to repair his boat, but was right back for qualifying heat number 3. But he did sacrifice that, and he still ended up 4th overall, 5th in points after the second round, and he now comes into round 3, 4th in the overall season standings. Still,
been quite a rough year for Chris Rinker, but somehow he just seems to be like staying right in there to do whatever he can to stay up on that point system. Holland champion, like you said, Holland champion inductee. He's got world records. He's got speed records. He's got it all. Now he just wants that one last thing, Thomas.
Absolutely, yeah. He wants to get a Formula One Powerboat Championship Series victory. Obviously, he went dead in the water in the qualifying heat there. He got it fired back up, but he could only muster a 4th after starting on the pole. You know, that's going to probably help him here in Heat 2 because he's going to have 3 faster boats. But what about the Ada Mayo? He's out there. Yeah. So that means he's got his gremlin figured out, whatever it was, or he's going to start last because he had to put a new motor on the boat. So he's got to go to the back of the start pontoon. We didn't get necessarily any of that information, but there he is, Snap-on Tools on the side. The number 8 of Jeremiah, Get Out of My Way, Mayo, your winner from round 2 as he went wire to wire in Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana. And he sits atop the point standings now after 2 rounds, not by much, but he's got a 13-point lead over his teammate, the 03 of Dustin Terry, after back-to-back third-place podium finishes, finds himself right squarely in the thick of things, along with the 17 of Dylan Anderson and the 52 of Chris Rinker.
Got a lot of fast boats with some really close qualifying time. We saw that earlier. We went through the qualifying time. Now they're out here on the course with 9 other drivers. We are down to the 10. Unfortunately, the 29 of Jared Jensen was unable to make it out. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen. And like you said, for you that are just joining us, welcome. F1 Powerboat. We are here in Alton, Illinois for the Midwest Nationals. We're getting ready to let loose the fast and furious F1s. And don't forget, Argosy Casinos.
Yeah, they got them on the sports book here this week, so don't forget, swing by Argosy Casino, sign up for your rewards card, get $20 in free slot play, take that $20, turn it into $100, and then go put $100 down on the sports book on who you think's going to win the Formula One Powerboat Championship this weekend. I mean, at this point, you got to say it's the 14 Andrew Tate because he won the only heat. However, there were definitely some guys that were a little faster, but he also made his mistake. Here we go, hot laps for the field here in the Formula One class. The one boat I don't see out there that surprises me.
Oh,
where's the 24 of Spencer Love?
He went in early on that last heat, so he must be having some technical motor issues. We're going to have to wait to see. Jeff Reno cruising right down in front of us, right in front of the seawall. Unfortunately, on the 34, he may be making his way back in. We talked about it earlier. The Mississippi River is starting to eat them up one at a time, but Chris Rinker in the 52, Rinker's Boat World, comes flying across the start-finish line. It looks like Spencer Love was able to make it out onto the course. That's the number 24. Brought to you by Clover Construction, the 17 of Dylan Anderson, Anderson Marine out of Nashville. The number 8 Snap-on Jewels, that will be brought to you by, or in the cockpit is going to be Jeremiah Mayo. Here comes the number 12 of Sean Love. Two brothers out here fighting it out. You'll see the red boat, number 12, right in front of us. And down here in turn number 3, that will be his brother, Spencer Love. So two brothers out here duking it out. It's going to be interesting to see how that
it looks
works.
like, unfortunately, just lost the Argosy Casino sponsored number 34 of Jeff Reno. He unfortunately is not able to get that motor running. It's basically got idle power only, so he's idling his way back to the boat ramp. Unfortunate. Last round, he had to pull out of one of the qualifying heats because his leg started cramping up so bad. Yeah, I don't even know if pickle juice at 100.
It works. I'm telling you, pickle juice works.
But 120 degrees for 2 hours he was in the boat because we ran back-to-back heats.
Yeah, maybe I'll test that out. I'll sit in a sauna with it, and then I'll go out and go run a half marathon.
There is the 34 Jeff Reno, and you can see he's just slowly putting it down. He's got an escort to make sure that he doesn't die before he can get the boat to the trailer, because if that happens, well, you know, Jeff might end up docking it at the Archway, the Gateway Arch National Park in downtown St. Louis in about 20 minutes because the river's moving so fast. So they're going to escort him down while everybody else gets lined up on the start pontoon. But I just got a little note here passed to me by the great folks at Mahalo Shave Ice and Leg Lovers Smokehouse. So 2 food tents joining forces, and they've got the shaved leg combo.
Oh.
I love it. Get yourself 1 jumbo turkey leg. I'm going to have to stop by here because I've never told you this, but jumbo turkey legs are the greatest, like, fair food ever. I will eat a turkey on a stick, like all the little bits and pieces all the way down to the bone. My wife tells me it's disturbing watching you eat that, but I love them. And you get a giant shave ice.
I want the shaved ice,
See,
please,
right?
because that's my favorite fair food is the shaved ice and nachos with extra jalapenos.
There you go.
Gotta have
We've all got our things, but don't forget, swing down and find the shaved leg combo from the great folks at Mahalo Shave Ice and Leg Lovers Smokehouse. We've getting them lined up here, just a handful of drivers left. Let's take a look at our start pontoon. Now you see there the 24 of Spencer Love. He's going to start on the pole. I don't want Spencer Love on the pole if I'm anybody else. He's good, he's fast, and it's going to be a very difficult, right? Again, for all those folks here in Alton who don't join us for every race, if you want to here in the future, subscribe to our YouTube channel at F1 Powerboat Championship. But we flipped that script, so if you won the opening heat, you now have to start last. And if you got last, you now are on pole position. Now, normally, the driver who is on pole position in Heat 2 has had something happen, or is one of our rookie drivers, or is one of our mid-pack drivers that's starting to work up. Bit different here. Your points leader and your reigning series champion, or was it last year? 2 years ago, right? He won the series 2 years ago. They're 1-2. I mean, if I'm Andrew Tate, it's like, dude, am I even going to crack the top 5 here?
Well, with his driving ability, I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest.
I mean, fair, but again, it took him 3 laps to get around the 98 of Aiden Benton, and the only reason he got around him that quick is because Benton barrel rolled down to the north end of the course. And this is not a knock on the 14 of Tate whatsoever. I mean, he's a talented driver, but so is every other guy in front of him.
Yes.
Right? That's the problem, right? I don't think if Andrew Tate knew he was vastly superior, where, let's be honest, there are some qualifying races and some racing that Andrew Tate does where he's like, listen, bro, like, I could lap you in my sleep. He's been doing this for so long. He can't say that here for 2 reasons. One, I think he understands the level of competition and the quality of the drivers. But 2, like, he's the new guy, right? This isn't like some of the other stuff where he's been running them 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years.
Right.
This is his 2nd season in Untunnable. There he is. Now, do I expect the 14 to find the podium at the end of the weekend? I mean, the way things are looking now, I'd say, hey, go put your money on the 14. But that's what's so great about what we do. You know, our heat races and the qualifying goes over so well. We're seeing other racing series across the world adopt some of the things that we have been doing since the day we started the series, right? Since the inception. Now, I would love to see in some of these other series do how they rotate right, the starting grid, that would
could be
fantastic.
interesting.
Correct.
I like
they would,
that.
they wouldn't like it over there, but that's okay.
I mean, I would like to. I think it would be interesting to see what they would do in that scenario.
Correct.
How much of a mind game that could
Right,
be.
and what it shows you is you don't have to always be the fastest boat.
But
you got to be the first one to the first pit.
you got to be the first one. But you know, Rusty Wyatt over in Italy just last weekend. The average race that he had over there was a 17-second lead.
Fair. Sometimes you just nail the setup and nobody can touch it.
Yeah, that was pretty
But
good.
hey, like we were talking about earlier, right? Marie Stromoy drove defending world champion all over the race course.
Did you? I watched that. I was like, oh my gosh, the way she was, and he was doing everything he could to get around, could not do it.
That's the plight of Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
That's the plight of the Toyota-sponsored Grant Schubert or the 17 of Dylan Anderson, right? This is or the 03 of Dustin Terry. They all have a Marit Stromoy in front of them that's going to drive them all over the course because it's like, hey, bro, I need points too. I'm not just going to roll over and let you walk by me because you beat me in the first heat. I mean, Spencer Love, you really think Spencer Love ever thought at this point in his career he'd be first on a second qualifying heat, that he got last? Well, no, but clearly he had engine problems. He had to go in, he had to get those fixed. He didn't have to swap the motor, but now he knows he's got to make up ground. So he's going to come out there like a banshee when they drop that start flag because he knows not only do I need max points, but if I get into a tiebreaker, right, I've got to do it so much faster here in these heats because I get such a brutal time from heat one because the laps I did complete were so slow.
Well, and you got to remember who's in that pits. Bill Rucker. I mean,
fantastic motor guy.
That's some brains right in there. So I'm sure they brought that into the pits. That is a busy pits. You talked about it earlier. 2 Formula Ones, 2 Formula Lights, trying to keep them all. And Trayden just keeps on breaking boats. So they're like battling motor problems, battling his breaking boats problem. But they're still coming out with checkered flags. So that's going to be interesting to see. We are still working. Oh, that's a giant log that we're getting up onto that rescue boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been picking them up all day. It looks like that is that Tim Kraft? That is the one and only
I don't know how he ever got
Formula
in.
One driver,
How'd
Tim
he get
Kraft.
in there with those shoulders? She's like huge.
Well, I will tell you that he didn't have boats that had the smaller cockpits. They were definitely and you'd be amazed. I can get in these cockpits. Now, I could barely grab the steering wheel once I'm in, but I'm telling you I can get my 6'2", 290-pound frame into one of these Formula One boats. Here we go, coming up on the 1-minute gun for qualifying heat number 2 here in Formula One. One minute, drivers, 1 minute. Ken, the 24 of Spencer Love in Clover Construction, turn around his luck here in Heat 2 as he starts from the pole position as he was last in Heat 1. 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. And then it's the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, followed by the 99 of Travis Yates and the 12 of Sean Love. 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. And then it gets real interesting as the 52 of Chris Rinker, your fast lap qualifier, and the 13 of Grant Schubert are in the next 2 spots. 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. And then you've got the 03 of the 17 of Dylan Anderson. He's sitting in 3rd in points overall. Dustin Terry, 2nd in points overall in the season. And the man who won Heat 1, the 14 of Andrew Tate's, rounding out the field. Let's find a victor here in qualifying Heat number 2. 20 seconds, drivers. You're under starters' orders. The flag is up. He drops the flag. A great jump there by the 24 of Love and the 17 of Anderson and the 8 of Mayo. We're going to have a barn burner down to the first turn, K.
Spencer just about blew it over, trimming it out, trying to get off that dock as fast as he could because he knew he had Jeremiah Mayo. But look who's going to come in and slam the door. That's going to be the 52 of Chris Rinker. Here comes the 17 of Anderson. But bringing him all the way out to the weeds is Spencer Love of Cloak Construction in the 24, followed by the 8. Jeremiah Mayo, the 52 of Chris Rinker, 99 Yates, Anderson in the 17, going to squeeze out Grant Schubert in the 13.
Yeah, he's really pinned in there, going 3 wide through first turn. Now they go down through turn number 2. It's the 24 of Spencer Love out in front. On his outside hip, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. Then it's the 30-52 of Chris Rinker, followed by the 17 of Dylan Anderson. But look at this battle we've got for first. Side by side. as they go down through turn number 3. Now into turn number 4. This is going to be a hard one. The 24 of Spencer Love can't go too tight to the pin because he can't give up too much speed. The 8 of Mayo turns it, grabbing it, coming out of turn number 5, walking it across the start-finish line, and he's going to get out in front. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new leader. If he can hang it into the corner, he leaves the lane open. Spencer Love concedes, and now the 52 of Chris Rinker dives underneath the 24 of Spencer Love. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new leader. The 8 of Jeremiah Mayo has gotten it figured out, and he's back out in front. But now the battle continues for second, third, and fourth between the 24 of Mayo, the 52 of Rinker, and that low-car performance products, number 17 of Dylan Anderson.
Spencer Love's got a lot of Rinker coming up on his right side, but he has to shake him off, along with holding off the 17 of Anderson. He's going to have 3 deep as they make their way out of turn 4 down this front stretch. Spencer Love tapping the sponsons left to left, trying to hold off Rinker. Rinker forced to the outside. Anderson jumps on the inside.
And we've got him continue to battle as they go down through turn number 2, and that chicane on the front stretch. Ooh, the nice little tail snap there by the 17 of Dylan Anderson as he is pushing it hard, trying to find a way to get by the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 24 of Spencer Love. They go way wide to the outside. Now he dives down to the inside. We might have a battle coming down through the backside chicane through into turn number 3 as the 17 of Dylan Anderson is now right up on the heels of the 24 of Spencer Love. Now the 52 of Chris Rinker looking to do battles. He goes wide to the outside of turn number 4. He goes off now, turn number 4, stand wide with the 24 of Spencer Love. And now down through turn number 5, and here comes the 17 of Dylan Anderson sneaking up to the inside. They just cannot leave each other alone, Kay.
3 deep as they make their way into turn 1 on the outside. Rinker gonna hold on tight to Spencer on the inside. Anderson sitting right back in the back rooster tail, but you know who's loving this race the most? Jeremiah Mayo, because these 3 are fighting it out,
Absolutely.
holding back the top 2 drivers, but Rinker able to get around Spencer. Now he's coming after Mayo. Jeremiah Mayo makes his way out of turn 4, goes a little bit wide. Chris Rinker gonna hold tight to the pins. Now the race is for third as Anderson takes a bath from Spencer Love in the Clover Construction.
And you know, it shows me, look at how far away the 52 of Rinker is pulled from the 24 of Love. That we were talking about when you can drive a guy all over the course. Clearly, the 24 of Spencer Love doesn't quite have that top end speed right now. The 52 of Chris Rinker with that sub 33 second fast lap qualifier clearly has some insane top end speed. But the 24 of Spencer Love held him off for quite some time. He's looking to do the same here to the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Sometimes your defense is your best offense.
Exactly. That's why I said Jeremiah Mayo was loving the battle going on. But unfortunately, that battle is now clear. It is all Chris Rinker coming in hot. Anderson still trying to get around Spencer Love for that 3rd place podium position. But the 1st place so far, and I say so far because we've seen it before.
Correct.
Is Jeremiah Mayo, that number 8 Snap-on Tools. 2nd place, Rinker Boat World brings you Chris Rinker, and the battle continues for 3rd and 4th on the inside. Clover Construction made that drive all the way from Santa Rosa Valley, California. Spencer Love trying to hold off Nashville, Tennessee, 19 Anderson Marine, driven by Dylan Anderson.
All right, and we're going to jump away. Here's our leader, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, as he continues to push. He goes across the start-finish line past 5. Now we got a battle. Here's the next battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's the 14 of Andrew Tate. We talked about how hard it was going to be coming from back off the start pontoon. He has only made his way, right, up into 6th position. Right, out of 10, he's only moved up 4 boats, but now we got a battle going on, and I don't know what happened to the 03 of Dustin Terry, but he really struggled as the 14 of Andrew Tate walked right by him, but now he's the 13 of Grant Schubert in that Toyota Motor-sponsored entry is just going to drive the 14 of Andrew Tate all over. The question is he going to have enough time left in this second qualifying heat?
They are running down on time and running down on laps, but Grant Schubert made a great turn 2. Started to walk away from the number 14 of Andrew Tate of Phenom Ventures. But we're going to have to wait to see as they make their way down the front stretch. Grant gets real loose and goes way wide. Andrew Tate jumps on that inside door, goes flying by the number 13 of Grant Schubert.
And here comes the 14 of Andrew Tate moving his way into 5th position, and that's exactly one small mistake in a turn, right? Grant went too deep into the turn. He couldn't turn it and set back into lane 1. He had to leave lane open because if he set it that hard, he's going to go over. And Andrew Tate said, hey, thanks, buddy, leave me the lane. You can't leave a guy like that the lane. He set it down into lane 1 and was gone.
All right, we talked about it earlier about how Jeremiah Mayo was so happy with that battle going on behind him. Now the one that's saying I'm lucky is going to be Chris Rinker, because now Jeremiah is coming up to back traffic, which will slow him down, which will bring that gap way closer. But it looks like Chris Rinker going to fly down that backstretch on the hunt for the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo.
And we got a battle here between continuing for that third and final spot on the podium. The Clover Construction Machine with number 24, Spencer Love behind the wheel, is continuing to drive that 17 Anderson Marine Low-Car Performance products of Dylan Anderson all over the race course. The young driver out of Nashville, Tennessee, has not been able to find a recourse for the 24 Spencer Love. He continues to force the 17 to cross that wake, and it's so detrimental to the 17 of Anderson, especially on this 5-pin course. There's so much more turning. It's like every time they take a turn, he can reset against Anderson, and Anderson's got to rebuild his game plan, and he just doesn't have enough real estate between the pins or enough top end to get by the 24 Love.
Yeah, we were just talking about it is all about prop selection. You either want to have the top end speed or you want to have the punch out of the corner. And it looks to me like Spencer's got the punch out of the corner, but the top end speed belongs to Dylan Anderson in the 17 as they still battle it out to try and stay on the top of that podium.
Right, we see the 52 of Chris Rinker get by the 99 of Travis Yates in that Yates Performance Chartreuse in black composite craft with another one of those 4-strokes on the back. Here's the crazy thing, if you're following some of the other drivers, the 03 of Dustin Terry and the 14 of Andrew Tate have both gotten by the 13 of Grant Schubert, who was doing a good job of holding them both off. That younger driver clearly showing some of the inexperience behind the wheel of a Formula One machine here in 24.
You know, he's one of the younger kids out on the course, just a young 20 years old is Grant Schubert. Double duty in this weekend because we just saw him in the Tri-Hull, jumps out of the Tri-Hull, jumps into a Formula One. That poor kid, at least he's young.
Hey, absolutely. He's got all the energy in the world, but we've got just a couple minutes left here in this second qualifying heat here in Formula One. Who's going to hang on? Will the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo seen the same fate fall on him where the motor goes away in the final lap, or will they have made the proper adjustments to give that thing top end speed, but the overall integrity needed to get through the entire race as he's continuing to push hard and now looking to eye up his second back marker and get by the number 12 of Sean Love out here on the shores of the Mississippi at the second qualifying heat here at the Alton Midwest Nationals.
Here's going to be an interesting turn right here. It's going to be Dylan Anderson on the inside. Yates is their back traffic that these two third place drivers are trying to get around 3 deep, but the yellow boat on the middle, he's actually back traffic. That was what Anderson wanted. He went on the inside, shoving Spencer to the outside, taking that third place podium.
And that's that cat and mouse game that is Formula One, right? He used him as a pick. Right, you'll see this in NASCAR where teammates will pick. You look at Talladega Nights, a little shake, a little bake, that crispy deliciousness. Well, unbeknownst to the 99 of Travis Yates, there was some crispy deliciousness in the head of the 17 of Anderson. He faked like he was going to go outside. Spencer went out. He dove back underneath the 99 of Yates, and he used him as a pick move. Perfect coming down the front straightaway. But we see here the white flag is out. Our leader, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. Oh no, he lost the rear cowling. Well, that's the 13 of Schubert. The 8 of Jeremiah Mayo's out there. The 12 of Sean Love goes dead in the water down the north end of the course. Look at that. There's the cowling.
That's the cowling out in turn 1.
And ladies and gentlemen, coming out of turn number 4, now sweeping it across turn number 5. He couldn't do it in heat 1, but he did it here in heat 2, taking the checkered flag. Running for Snap-on Tools, number 8, out of Richmond, Texas. Your winner here in heat 2, number Jeremiah, Get Out of My Way, Mayo. Coming in second after a valiant effort there was the 52 of Chris, the real deal Rinker. I think it would have been a much closer battle if they would have started a lot closer together. And coming in third after that fantastic pick move on the penultimate lap of the second qualifying heat is the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Then it's fourth, the 24 of Spencer Love. In fifth, the 14 of Andrew Tate. Sixth, the 03 of Dustin Terry. Seventh, the 13 of Grant Schubert. 8th, the 99 of Travis Yates. 9th, the 12 of Sean Love. And in 10th, the 34 of Jeff Reno, who was a DNF here on this second of 2 qualifying heats. So it looks like we've got the rear cowling on the 13 of Grant Schubert, so that's good because that's $1,000 down the drain. All right, race fans, well, due to the delay and our restrictions here on the Mississippi River, that's going to wrap up racing for today. We're going to move our final Formula Lights heat to tomorrow morning again with the Mississippi River Festival going on and us having to clear the river for commercial traffic. You can thank our lovely friends on the water that made our river open significantly longer today, as well as our lovely friend out there whose boat anchor broke and he couldn't get his boat off the race course. We had a little bit of delays, but overall, a fantastic day of racing. We're going to wrap things up here with a conversation between our Kay Myers and the winner from qualifying heat number 2, the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. What a great day it was, not for the 12 of Sean Love, as he's getting towed in now after going dead in the water qualifying heat 2. But we saw some thrills, we saw some spills, we saw some fantastic driving here on moving day. It's qualifying Saturday here at the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Don't forget, before the gates open to the concert and the music gets rocking, swing by the Formula One Powerboat Championship tent. And we're going to turn things down to my partner in crime, K-Dub, with our winner, the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo.
I got Jeremiah Mayo here, the number 8, brought to you by Snap-on Tools. Came off a great victory Memorial Day weekend in Shreveport. Brought another checkered flag home with that heat.
Yeah, you know, we just started a real good heat 1 and then unfortunately put a huge window in the side of the motor. So we put this one on. It looks like it just came out of the bottom of a saltwater lake, and we didn't really know anything about it, and luckily it worked out for us.
Well, congratulations. That is your teamwork at work for you. What do you got to say to your team?
Oh, I mean, I can't thank them enough. Everybody over there just puts in as much work as possible. You know, there's never, everybody gets down and quits working. Everybody just, busts their tails. So I got to thank them a million times.
Well, you rewarded them back with a checkered flag, yet another checkered flag underneath your belt. Congratulations, Jeremiah Mayo of Snap-on Tools, number 8.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kay. Jeremiah, get out of my way, Mayo. He's 23 years old, just graduated from Texas A&M University. He's got a real job now, but commutes back to the boat shop in Richmond, Texas. And, sometimes when you got it, and they dusted off a backup motor they hadn't really had much experience with, and he ran that thing all the way to a checkered flag. What a fantastic turn of events, and he's really kept himself in the hunt for the season standings, as he really needed them after a DNF in qualifying heat number 1. He pulls off a wire-to-wire victory after getting a great jump down on the start dock. K, what a fantastic run it was for the young Mayo. You gotta love, sometimes I was just talking how it just works, right? They dust that backup motor off, and he is clearly maybe not the fastest, but fast enough to run out in open water and not let Chris Rinker catch him, that's for sure.
Well, we've been seeing that a little bit this weekend. We've seen a couple of these crews that have taken one motor, started on Friday, said, just not quite fast enough, and changed it over to, I'm out of breath. I need a new motor. But yeah, we've seen that. I've seen that with at least 4 boats between the Formula Lights and the Formula Ones that have been changing things up. I'm not sure if the temperature's eating them up, if they're changing up because of different course sizes. We'll have to go through and talk to them later on. I also invite all of our fans. The pits are open. If you want to come down and talk to these drivers, stick your head inside of these boats to see how small those cockpits are that we were talking about. Feel free to come on down. We also have t-shirts for sale down at Bender Alley. Get your 2024 F1 Powerboat Championship Mississippi Riverfest t-shirt. Bring it in the pits, have these drivers sign it. You could have the winning driver's signature.
All right, as we wrap things up here for Saturday's qualifying, we've moved our second of 3 qualifying heats for Formula Lights to tomorrow morning. So our schedule will change a little bit, so make sure you check all of our social media outlets tomorrow morning. As it sits today, we're going to look at Formula Lights qualifying heat number 2 is probably going to be at about 9:30 to 9:45 tomorrow morning locally. We will not be airing that. We will not go live.
So then they have to come down
until 10:15. Correct. So you're going to have to come down here to see the first qualifying heat for Formula Lights, but we'll be live at 10:15 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning as we roll things out. Just going to give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. So we're going to sign things off here with our sponsors that make it possible for the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to be here in Alton, Illinois, and wherever we travel across the United States. First and foremost, our title sponsor on the 2024 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, Mercury Racing. The art of speed. Mercury Racing propellers offer the ultimate in performance and durability. Each prop is handcrafted into precision-tuned works of art. Find maximum boat performance and speed with a Mercury Racing propeller at mercuryracing.com. Simmons Law Firm, SimmonsFirm.com is the host of Simmons Hanley Conroy, a veteran-owned law firm right here in Alton, Illinois that's been helping victims with mesothelioma caused by asbestos for more than 20 years. Simmons Hanley Conroy working hard to get victims the compensation they need. If you need help, reach out to SimmonsFirm.com. Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau, proud to be a partner of the City of Alton and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to bring Formula One Powerboat racing back to the Mississippi River. For visitor information on their website, find them at www.riversandroutes.com. Enjoy your time here in Alton. The Alton Parks and Recreation Department, responsible for 16 city parks, 1,400 acres of spark space, 12 ball fields, 19 soccer fields, 24 tennis courts, 19 playgrounds, a ton. Alton Parks and Recreation, enriching the lives of each citizen through quality parks programs. The City of Alton, this beautiful community nestled along the majestic banks of America's great river, 25 miles north of St. Louis. A great place to call home, the City of Alton. Greater Alton Toyota dealers. Toyota's got more all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles than any other brand. So get behind the wheel today and take adventure to the top. Visit your local Alton Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. And we couldn't do it without the man in charge of our website who's been with us since the beginning, Moto Marketing Group. Moto MG, accelerating brands for over 35 years, from developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast, race and boat team graphics that look fast, to websites that run fast. Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle, wraps, websites, photography, print design, and more. They do it all professionally for a great price. Check them out at motomarketinggroup.com. Find them on Facebook and YouTube as well. Well, and finally, the official audio partner of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, Kicker Marine Audio. They produce real marine audio components meticulously designed and engineered and built with the durability to withstand the harsh marine environment and the power to be heard with clarity, even in open-air events like a Formula One Powerboat race. Well, that does it here for the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series in round 3 here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. We'll be back tomorrow as we look to crown a champion here at the inaugural event on the shores of the Mississippi. For tonight, grab your tickets as the Mississippi River Fest looks to blow the doors off of downtown Alton, Illinois, with headliners Larkin Poe. Let's get ready to rock and roll, and we'll see you tomorrow for another jam-packed day of racing action.